Somi doesn't normally go through her husband's things, but this time she's gonna make an exception. The house has been exceptionally cluttered recently, and she can't even think straight. She's gonna lose her mind in here. She wants to finish cleaning up the whole house before he gets home. Maybe they can eat dinner afterwards. She's gonna feel like a brand new person. That's the plan. This is a spring cleaning type of day. She's not just gonna wipe the counters. She's gonna get on all fours and dust underneath every single piece of furniture. She's gonna grab the junk drawers, dump them out on the table, and start reorganizing every little piece of junk in there. It is one of those cleaning type of days. Somi's in the thick of putting things away. She's tried on 5 pairs of jeans from the back of her closet just to see if they still fit. She's sweating. She's drenched in sweat, labeling everything, running around. And then she comes across a stack of those old VHS tapes. Because before streaming services, there were CDs. And then before that, there were these VHS tapes. They're like big black blocks, which is kind of cute. Maybe her husband is keeping them because, I don't know, they don't really watch VHS tapes anymore. But maybe it's one of his favorite childhood memories and he's just keeping it for nostalgia. Or maybe it's a video of him when he was younger, because you can basically vlog and put it on a VHS tape. She keeps rummaging around and ends up finding a VHS player. Oh, this is cute. She pops the VHS tape in, goes back to cleaning, because you have to wait for it to wind all the way back to the beginning. It's literally a tape, and then hits play. The video starts, and she freezes. She drops whatever's in her hand, and she's staring at the screen, kind of confused about how to feel about any of this. On the screen is her husband, aggressively, almost visually painfully yanking himself, self-pleasuring himself. It's very aggressive, and it feels illegal to watch her husband in such a... It's weird, she's never seen this before. And he's moaning a name, a woman's name she's never heard before. It's definitely not her name. It's not Somi, it's somebody else.
Is his face in there?
Yes. It's very disturbing. It's definitely going to be a big fight when he gets home. But she's trying to figure out when this tape is even from. Maybe it's from before they even got married. But even then, it's kind of a weird tape to have. Who records themselves doing something like this? It's a little odd.
Do we know when this was taking place?
2003.
And by then, VHS tape is not really around, right?
No, most people have moved on to DVDs. Now she checks the time. It's a 20-minute long clip. The whole time, that's what he's doing, self-pleasuring until he reaches his destination. She rips the VHS tape out and inserts the next one. By this point, her heart is racing a little bit because is this going to be another video of him doing strange things? Is it going to be an introduction into the woman that he's calling out to? She pushes the tape and presses play. Laying on the bed are 2 bodies, her husband and another body laying next to him. There's these words written all over both of their naked bodies, like they're doodling on each other, or they were doodling on each other. The words read Prince and King.
Prince and King.
Yeah, all over the husband's body. The girl looks terrified. She's laying next to the husband with a giant long cut down her private area, and she's actively bleeding. She's trembling. And so is Somi. She's shaking by the time her husband in the video gets up, walks closer to the camera, and smiles, quote, "Oh, she tried to run away, so I had to teach her a lesson." He turns back to the girl and says, quote, "Endure it even if it hurts." Then her husband walks over to the girl in the video and starts essaying her. Somi does not recognize the other person in the video, at least not personally. This is not a family friend or anything like that, but she does know the girl's face. She's seen it before, all over missing posters in town. She's the little 8-year-old girl that had gone missing recently.
It was an 8-year-old girl?
8 years old. Now, some heavy disclaimers for today's case. There are mentions of snuff films, kidnapping, essay against some of our most vulnerable populations, including that of young children and people with intellectual disabilities. So please take care of yourself. If you need to click out, go take a bath, read a book, and I will see you in the next one. Another big note, the person in question in today's episode has not been proven in the court of law of being guilty of the crimes he's suspected of. He's been proven to be guilty of a lot of other things, but not these specific crimes. There is a lack of concrete evidence that authorities could get their hands on, but also the statute of limitations in South Korea. Even if they were now to find a mountain of evidence of, hey, we had a child serial killer on our hands, it would be too late. The statute of limitations for most of the cases would be up. So he or whoever did this would probably be a free man. But I do think it's a very solid theory that the authorities have. But for legal purposes, I will be using the word allegedly, and anything stated about someone's guilt or lack thereof is either a personal opinion or a restatement of opinions of netizens that have been compiled for viewer convenience. They should not be taken as fact, and as always, everyone should come to their own opinions. So with that being said, let's get into it. The producers of a famous Korean true crime show get a letter from a man who is in jail for essay and kidnapping, which is kind of odd to say the least. They usually cover crime stories, and more often than not, the producers are the ones reaching out to the prisoners, begging them, like, let me come see you and do an interview.
What's the show?
It's called Curious Why. Why would he reach out to want to share his story and have it broadcasted to the whole nation? It's a little weird. The man, Mr. Na, N.A., rants in his long-winded letter that this is all one big conspiracy misunderstanding, that if somebody just takes 2 seconds to read his letter, they would see just how corrupt the police are. It's not that difficult. Mr. Na states the police tricked him. The main detective working his case just wants a pat on the back for stopping another quote-unquote violent criminal, and they're steamrolling him, making him out to be this bad guy. So he's reached out to all these news networks. He's reaching out to human rights organizations because this is more than just about him. Whatever's going on in this police station is really dark. All of this happened because of his mother-in-law. His mother-in-law does not want him to be with her daughter, all because of love. So she accused him of kidnapping and essaying her precious daughter. He says in the letter, I love her. I really love her. If you look at our text messages between us, it's so clear that we love each other. The police are rather excessively separating us and putting all these strange charges on me. My wife is losing the man she loves. And from a woman's point of view, her opinion has not been respected at all. And it's proceeding according to the detective's needs, the parents' needs. Where are a person's human rights? He states he didn't even know that she had an intellectual disability till later on. And because she looked like she could still live a very independent life, even though she was still living at home at the time, he thought, I mean, it's not really impacting her life. Why would I even notice? Why would she need to tell me? He argued she didn't feel comfortable talking about it in depth, so he didn't push her. Is that a sin? They were seriously dating for a while, but she confessed to him that her mom was terrifying. She was scared of her mom. Her mom was quite abusive, and she couldn't even be herself in her own home, and it was miserable, which is why the two of them decide, let's get married ASAP. Is that such a sin? He said, not acknowledging our relationship just because of the disability that my wife has is a clear abuse of investigative power. The performance of the investigator in charge and his greed for cracking down on crime and greed for promotion are questionable. The letter continues, my wife voluntarily went to the district's office with me and registered our marriage. The police are now trying to make me, the husband, a criminal and deny a woman love and marriage. Is that really justice?
But what is he sentenced for?
For essaying and kidnapping his wife.
Oh, but they are legally married?
Yes. Na said the accusations against him right now are absolutely absurd. He lastly asks the producers of the show, is love a sin? Think about that. What? All because the woman he loved has the mental capacity of a 6-year-old, according to her mother, and technically in her specific case does not have the capacity for informed consent? How is that him taking advantage of her? Even though technically she said the word yes, she signed the marriage certificate, is that really a sin? Just because her mental capacity is at 6 years old? Why should that ever stop him from being intimate with her? The producers are instantly intrigued, and it's time to go investigate. First stop would be Gangjin, South Korea. Every town has something that they're known for, especially in the producer world. Each town that they investigate in South Korea, there's always a case that they remember it by. This small town in South Korea was known for every June, children disappear. That was what all the kids were told. And even though parents would say, no, it hasn't happened in such a long time, if you watch closely, if you go there maybe May, you're not going to see a lot of kids walking home alone, month of June. Even during May, you see parents starting to slowly rein in the leashes. You honestly won't see many kids out and about in general the entire month. It's a very tense 30 days. The minute May starts rolling around, parents are already preparing. They're canceling all of their plans. They're just going to stay home after work every single night. If you ask one of the townspeople, hey, I'm new here. What's going on? Why is everybody acting so strange all of a sudden? Everybody seems on edge. They'll just sigh and respond, neither the heavens nor the earth knows what really happened. What does that mean? There had always been these superstitious rumors that the town would have to give up a child every single summer, usually a little girl. That something or someone is taking little girls away every June as some sort of annual sacrifice. It's hard to say if it's true. Some kids say it's kind of like the boogeyman. The boogeyman comes and snatches you every June. Others say it's just sensationalism. The truth is, a few girls went missing in June for a few years, and now it's a whole thing. It was a few years ago. 2 girls had gone missing, both in June, both 1 year apart. They were both walking home from elementary school, and they just kind of evaporated into thin air. It's like a hole opened up in the ground and just swallowed them up. There was no textbook left behind, no backpack, nothing. They just vanished, no evidence.
The body's not found.
Never. Now, that's not what the producers are in town for. They're in town to investigate a human rights concern involving a woman with intellectual disabilities. They didn't know that both these cases would actually be connected. The first stop the producers make in the town is a police station. They want to talk to the detectives on Mr. Na's case. Are they violating human rights or not? The detective breaks the case down for them. It's not a hard concept. He claims it's love. He claims she's mentally capable of getting married. She's of legal age. There's nothing wrong with it. Love is not a sin. She claims she has no idea what marriage is or what the certificate is. She claims that she signed it without understanding it. Her mom and social worker state she has the mental capacity of a 6-year-old and cannot give informed consent. She does not want to be with him. She has stated that he was holding her captive. So therefore, he's charged with SA and kidnap. I'm not sure why we're even talking about human rights violations right now. The producers nod. Maybe they followed a bad lead. The story is sad, but it's not really complicated. It is in the sense, but it's not what they're looking for in a documentary. They need something to pitch to their network. This is not that. But as they're on their way out, the officer continues. Besides, that guy should just stay single. His first attempt at marriage, even bigger disaster. What do you mean? Oh yeah, he was married once before. That's why he was in jail the very first time. This is his second time in jail, second time getting married. We know his ex-wife pretty well. She was down here a lot talking to us. She's the one that accused him of running a child snuff film ring.
Whoa.
A while back, a group of American documentary filmmakers decided that they were going to venture into the Amazon rainforest to film a documentary about a cannibal community. There was going to be a director, scriptwriter, and 2 cameramen. They tell all of their friends about it. They'd been preparing for this trip for months now, and it's finally time. And then they just vanish in the Amazon rainforest, disappear into thin air.
When?
This was in the 80s. Professor Harold Monroe, an anthropologist from NYU, decides he's going to run a little rescue mission to find the missing documentary makers. The plan is honestly horrendous. They're going to infiltrate the cannibal community and try to figure out what happened and try to get the tapes back, try to find the documentary makers. He and his team end up finding out they're dead. There is a shrine that the community made where their skeletal remains are laid out, as well as their reels of film. The professor somehow is able to make a deal to leave with the reels of film, and he has no idea what's in them. He can't even play them until he gets back to New York. He goes back home, reviews this recovered footage, and it's like watching a real-life horror movie. The 4 filmmakers have a very rough start to their trip. A few days in, their guide, Felipe, is bitten by a venomous snake. There's nothing they can do about it. There's nobody around. It's too late. They're too deep into the forest to leave now and get him medical attention. Meaning either the venom is going to spread to the rest of his body or they have to cut his leg off. So they cut his leg off with a machete in the middle of the Amazon rainforest in an effort to save his life, but he ends up dying anyway. They just leave him behind. The group make it to the location of the cannibal community, and they see one of the younger community members walking by themselves. So what do? Do they ask him to introduce them to their community because they're making a documentary? No, they shoot him in the leg so that they can easily follow him back to his community-centered area. When they do, they just wage war from the get-go, which I'm so confused by. The 4 filmmakers, yes, they want a documentary, but they mainly want good footage. So they intimidate a whole tribe, kill a pet pig, herd the community members into a tent, burn the tent down. The professor keeps watching, and it just gets worse. The 3 male filmmakers film themselves taking turns R-wording a young girl. The only one trying to convince them to stop is the female screenwriter, but she tells them to stop because she argues, you guys are wasting precious film footage. We don't have that much film. You can see in the background that they're being watched by the locals. They know what the filmmakers are doing. The filmmakers later find the girl impaled on a wooden pole, meaning a pole went through her private area and then through her mouth, and she's impaled on it. She's dead. They state in the documentary that it's because she's no longer pure. They claim the locals killed her for her loss of virginity. But it's pretty clear from the way the filmmakers are talking about it, the professor has an inkling that they R-worded her and they killed her and they set it up like this to get better footage. In the end, the community attacked the filmmakers for what they did to the girl. One of them, Jack, they use a large machete to cut off his private parts, and even after he's dead, they continue to mutilate his body. Faye, the screenwriter, is captured, stripped, gang essayed, beaten to death, and then ultimately beheaded. One of the other camera guys keeps trying to convince the other survivor, we have to go and try and save her, but he's not listening. He just keeps filming the assault on her from afar.
I thought there's only 3 people left.
4.
Oh, there's still 4 left.
Oh, so 2 just died. There's 2 left.
Oh.
Now, eventually, the last 2 filmmakers are located, killed, all the while their cameras keep rolling. And the footage is probably some of the most graphic, intense violence you can see on a screen. There's horrific torture, essay, animal cruelty, murder, cannibalism, all caught on camera. There's scenes of mutilation, severing of private parts. Professor Monroe would say he was left pondering who the real cannibals really are. The footage premiered in Milan, Italy.
What?
Where the man who had the footage and owned it and premiered the footage was promptly arrested. The man was arrested for animal cruelty and murder. This man argued in the court, please, you have to believe me. None of that is real. I'm a movie director. All of this is fake. None of it is real. You have to trust me. Look me up.
Wait, so it was not released by NYU professor?
No.
Is he involved?
He is a movie character. This man is now claiming, I'm the director of this movie. These are all fake people. It's a fake documentary.
I see.
But the authorities don't believe him because none of it looks fake. It doesn't look like a fake documentary.
Like, it looks so real.
Yes.
It looks like people actually died.
Yes. So they're saying if it's a fake documentary, we still think that you killed people with this plot because none of this, there's no CGI. It looks real. They don't believe him. It looks very real, especially the part where the girl is essayed and then gets impaled on a stake by the river. She has the stake going through her private parts, through her body, out of her mouth. They believe he created a real-life snuff film to win awards, to make money, to dupe the public into watching it. It wasn't until during the trial, they would confirm that the actress was very much alive. And they still didn't believe it. They thought, maybe it's a lookalike, maybe it's a twin sister. They had to physically demonstrate how the killing scenes were done in court to prove that nobody died on set.
Okay, so there was a film that looked so much like a snuff film was released.
Yes, and the plot of it is what I told you, the 4 film documentary makers, but none of it is done in a way where it's like, hey, this is actually a movie. It looks like a documentary. Then the New York City professor finds it. Yeah. He's watching it.
Yeah. So the police was like, this is a crime right here. This is a real snuff film.
At first, they believed, okay, maybe this is a documentary, but you can't just air people dying like that. Then the movie director is like, actually, it's not a documentary. It's a mockumentary, one of the first of its kind. This is before they were around. And nobody died. I'm not airing footage of real people's deaths. And they're like, we don't believe you. We think that you actually killed these people to make this movie. So we're going to arrest you for murder and animal cruelty. Wow. He goes to trial. They bring photos of the girl that is still very much alive. And the authorities are like, we still don't believe you. So they have to now reenact the killing scenes in the movie to show you, hey, no, really. The scene where the girl is impaled by the stake, they had a stake embedded into the ground and a bicycle seat that she would sit on. Then she put a basil wood on her mouth to hold it, and she appeared like she had this stick going through her body. But the way that she's able to keep completely still is crazy. But only then were the murder charges dropped, and the film was banned for animal cruelty. There are actual animal torture scenes in the movie. Those were not faked. There's a scene where a turtle is deshelled and butchered. They killed a total of 7 animals for the film for whatever sick reason. Truly, apparently there was no reason for those plot points. Not that that would excuse anything, but truly, it wasn't even part of the plot, if you will. It was just extra sadism thrown in for why the hell not. It's really sad if we get into it, but the animal cruelty scenes are brutal. Apparently, they wanted a scene for no good reason of them killing a monkey, but they didn't like the first take. So they took another monkey and decapitated it. Again, just because. Additionally, the girl that is essayed by filmmakers, apparently she was 14 at the time of filming. She did not understand English, and there was a general thought on the internet that she had no idea what kind of scene she was filming. This was her first time even seeing a camera. I believe she's Colombian, and I don't think that they should have used someone that young either way, but it said that she never had seen a camera in her life. She never knew what this scene was about. She understood no English, so it's believed online that she went to this thinking she's gonna smile for the camera, but no, they're like, you're gonna just start running, and there's these men chasing her. It seems incredibly unethical. I wonder if even illegal. All in all, I believe the director did deserve jail time for his animal abuse, as well as forcing the crew into deeply uncomfortable simulations of violent crimes. I mean, he truly did not care for the actors. The actors straight up said he was a sadist. But this was one of the world's first introductions at the time, on a mass level, to the world of snuff films, which by definition is a movie or video produced for profit or financial gain that shows scenes of actual homicide. Now, snuff films don't technically exist, and mainly because I think the definition of what a snuff film is very, very narrow. It has to be recorded murder for the purpose of selling that tape as a commodity and entertainment. It cannot be recorded murder that was produced for enjoyment that later gets circulated for shock value or for profit. So there are actually lots of videos that depict death where gangs, cartels, war times, there will be beheadings, there will be shocking scenes of torture and violence that are filmed and then recorded, released for the mass media consumption, or at least that's their initial point.
But they're not trying to make money.
They're not trying to make money, and additionally, there's no really plot. So snuff films kind of do have a plot. It does have to be a little bit like a movie.
Got it.
It has to be entertaining. Wow. It cannot just be shocking gore. It has to be murder with the sole intention of filming and making money off of that murder scene. So when you deal with videos of abuse against the younger generation, typically, it does appear that a lot of the injuries sustained would result in death, but it would not be considered a snuff film. Because the purpose of someone viewing that video would not be to see a murder of a kid, but more so for the explicit content involving that kid prior to the murder. There's a lot of articles out there being like, guys, don't worry, snuff films don't actually exist. The FBI haven't found one yet, but they have found videos of brutal murders being circulated on the deep web, essays that lead to murder that have been circulated, but they don't categorize those as snuff films. So it is safe to assume that many netizens think, yeah, I mean, technically by definition, they don't exist, but our idea of them and what they are, they exist. Yeah. Even things like hurtcore exist, which is a particularly extreme form of torture videos that are incredibly illegal to produce, purchase, own, and even watch. It's, quote, made for people who get off on the infliction of pain or even torture and death on a person who is not a willing participant. One netizen put it, there's no limit to human depravity out there. Plenty of people with enough money to do whatever they want. If what they want is a true snuff film, then they're going to get a true snuff film. And now, this man, Mr. Na, the police said, a man who was at the time in his mid-20s, looked like he just graduated from college, is being accused of running a child snuff film ring by his own wife? They tell the producers it was never proven, though. And that was over 15 years ago when she accused him. Now he's older and he's in jail for essaying and kidnapping his new wife, and he wants his human rights to be protected. When Mr. Na finds out the producers are looking into his case, not about the human rights violations, but about the missing girls, he writes another letter to them. The criminal charges are only suspicious, and most of them are not true. As it may have a negative impact on the case that I'm currently on trial for, please postpone the broadcast of your story. If only the suspicious content from the police flows out without my truth, the truth of the current trial will also be buried.
Wait, what is he threatening?
He's saying, unless you want to obstruct justice, I would say don't broadcast whatever you think you have, because that's not the real truth.
So the beginning of the story, the little discovering, was the first wife, correct?
Yes. And that was 15 years ago. And now 15 years later, he's writing a letter to producers being like, hey, I'm in jail because I'm being accused of these crimes of trying to marry my second wife. And they're saying I'm kidnapping her.
Yeah.
They go to investigate that second wife thing.
Yeah.
And the police are like, oh, there's so much more to the story. This guy's crazy. He was in prison for a while.
So the first crime was 2003. That means the second was 2018?
Yes, it's recent.
Whoa. So this is like he's been around for a while.
Now, Mr. Na starts referring to himself in third person in the letters. He says, the informant was suspected of a crime, not because he committed the crime, but because the police wanted to accuse him. The police fabricate and distort a lot of things, especially against those who are weak and have nothing. Mr. Na falls into that category. If Mr. Na had truly committed a crime, would he have reported it to a broadcasting station under his real name? It's a very strange response. That if the producers didn't feel like there was more to the story before, they definitely think there is now. The response makes them want to dig deeper. 1 year, this is the ex-wife, so back to 2003. 1 year before finding the tapes in her husband's closet, Somi starts noticing her husband's not acting normal. I mean, to be fair, everyone in town is kind of on edge. Another little girl had gone missing, but they didn't have a daughter. They're not exactly as high risk as all the other people in town who are freaking out about their own children. But this vacation is supposed to be about them and reconnecting and focusing on their relationship, and it just seems like the last thing on her husband's mind is relaxing. In fact, he's in the corner of the hotel room writing a will. He's insisting that they need a will if they're ever going to die, which logically, yeah, sure. But time and place for everything, no? I mean, who does that in the middle of a vacation? He even randomly starts writing a letter to his uncle that he hasn't spoken to in years. Somi is so confused, she leans over his shoulder to get a glimpse of the letter, and it reads, it seems to be the first time I'm writing a letter to my own uncle. The trip has already been planned and has nothing to do with any incident. Also, the recent incident has nothing to do with me. And I confess that I lied.
What?
What incident? What is he talking about? What does it even mean? But the weirdest part of the trip comes at night. The two of them would be laying in bed, the lights are off, the motel's blackout curtains are drawn, it's pitch black in the room, and Somi is just about to drift off into sleep and she thinks her husband's already knocked out, it's quiet. Then she hears something. She hears him talking? What did he just say? She holds her breath and he says it again. Okay, what was that? He's muttering something under his breath. And then she hears it again, and this time it's a bit clearer. There's someone in the walls. For the first time ever, Somi is actually pretty happy to be back home from her little trip with her husband. She hoped going back to their routine is going to help him get somewhat back to normal. I mean, but that's not what happens, not even close. When they get back, one of the first things her husband wants to do is go to the movies, which, fine, but he wants to go by himself, which, I mean, again, I guess it's fine. She kisses him goodbye, but there's something about the way she grabs her coat. She waits a little bit while before running out of the house and following him down the street. It's not like she's following him. Technically, she could be going to the market. It's also in the same direction. Who's to say, really? She stays very far away from Na, and he cannot see her. But she follows him all the way towards the movie theater. He does end up going to the movies. But at one point, when he's walking through an alleyway, out of nowhere, he just starts sprinting, booking it, sprinting down the alleyway, looking behind him, hiding behind giant dumpsters, poking his head out, eyes wide, hiding again. He looks like someone is chasing him. But nobody is chasing him.
You don't think he saw her?
No.
Oh, like he's running away from someone else.
Yes. Because if he sees his wife, you don't hide like that. You don't run like that. He's running like someone's chasing him with a knife. Somi turns around and quickly goes back home. Later that night after dinner, Somi starts cleaning again, and she sees sitting near the top of the trash can a ripped up movie ticket from earlier today. She bends down, grabs as many of the pieces as she can, and starts puzzling it back together. And on it is a handwritten scribble. It reads, quote, "I have to use her and then get rid of her." Who is he talking about? What is he referring to? Does it have anything to do with the little girl that just went missing? She was the second girl in town to disappear into thin air, and the whole town had been looking for her. Does it have to do with her?
So by this point, the wife is suspecting of the husband, or
She has
a lot of questions?
a lot of questions. I think, you know, when you have those intrusive thoughts and you're like, okay, I am creating a movie in my head. This is not real. I think it was one of those moments because she does not report it at all. Every single karaoke bar, that's the search initiative. That's it. Comb through every single one of them. Flip tables, look under the booths, look in the vents. 300 police officers are out searching for the little missing girl. They're combing through the back of these karaoke rooms, inside the private rooms, tossing everybody out, asking all the employees for IDs. And it's all because this one post goes viral. An online forum post starts going viral 25 days after a little girl in town named Han disappears. She's 8. She vanishes. The title of the online post reads, "I saw a girl who looks just like Han, the one that disappeared. I saw her somewhere and I'm pretty sure it's her." The rest of the message reveals the OP is a woman in her 20s. She did not just see someone like Han. She sold Han. That's what she details in a post.
She sold?
Yes, that's what she details in a post that's basically a confessional of how she lured a small child, a small girl, to hang out with her, then handed her over to 2 men who promised to pay her for little girls, $1,000 per little girl. She states in the post, nothing against Han in particular. She just lured the next girl she could find, which happened to be Han. She said she didn't really know what these men had in store for her, only that they were going to take her away in this black sedan. Perhaps they wanted to illegally put her up for adoption. That was like the weird, sick hope she had, that she was going to find a nice little family that would love her and she would make $1,000. But instead, she states one day, she comes across a karaoke store where she sees what looks like that little girl working in the karaoke store. Side note, she said that she's full of remorse and guilt and that's why she's posting this. But she also mentioned she never got paid the $1,000 that she was owed.
The 8-year-old girl is working at a karaoke bar?
Karaoke bars in South Korea are honestly typically a lot of fun if you are over age and you go knowing some security measures, but it's not really the type of place that your parents would want you to hang out in. It's like clubbing. Clubs are fun in the US if you're of age and everything is legal, but is it the safest place in the world? Is it a place where your parents are going to be like, yes, go every single night? There's nothing inherently wrong or shady about them. There's bad people everywhere. But it is a place where bad things have known to happen just because it's associated with nightlife.
And this was years and years ago, right?
Yes.
Decades ago.
Yes.
So it's more unregulated.
I'm assuming it's a lot more regulated now, but there have been allegations even today that some shady stuff is happening. Yeah. I think not so much in the more tourist areas, but maybe smaller towns.
Yeah.
Now, there had been instances where girls had been kidnapped and forced almost into a labor trafficking, sex trafficking ring inside of karaoke bars. There have been instances where children in South Korea have been kidnapped and they would be purchased by adults in these karaoke bars. Yeah, there have been unverified internet rumors that some of them were these underage kids would be forced to perform on tables in private karaoke rooms by using fruits to do things to their body. I don't know. That is completely unverified. It's an internet rumor. Now, this is still the very big first lead that the police have about missing Han. She might be working in a karaoke bar. The missing girl's dad, Han's dad, even tries to meet with some of the former kids that had been kidnapped by karaoke bars just to see what their day was like, how they could find someone that is being moved around in these bars, the best way for them to escape. He starts sleeping outside of karaoke bars in the area until the owners will let him in to search, until they talk to him. And that's when he finds out that his daughter is not in any of them. Authorities had searched through Mokpo, Busan, checking every single karaoke bar, subway stations, even going through the terminals one by one. If she was sold as a karaoke worker, it's likely she's traveling through the subway stations or perhaps even spending time and maybe even sleeping in one. But she's not there. She's not anywhere. They don't even have a clue or a better lead. Usually when they search this intensely, you get another lead you can follow while you're searching. Someone says, oh, actually, I remember seeing someone like that and she went that way. But they turn up nothing, which means the only lead they still have is tracking down the original anonymous poster, the one that claims she sold the girl, the one that claims she's now in a karaoke bar. There was a point in my life where I felt like I was drowning in debt. Every time I thought I was making progress on my credit card debt, it was like my car knew. I swear at one point I thought my car was sentient because every time I saved even just $1, it would break down on me and I would need an expensive repair. I thought I'd be stuck in this cycle forever where I would pay off my debt just a little and then a huge unexpected expense would hit me. It felt like I couldn't tell anyone I was in debt either because I was so scared of the judgment I would receive. It's why I wish I knew about PDS debt when I was paying off my debt. PDS debt strives to understand your specific scenarios and can help provide alternative solutions to becoming debt-free. I know how easy it is to get into credit card debt, and I know it can feel like you'll never get out. If you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills over $10,000, I recommend PDS debt. They can help if you feel like you're making payments every month, but you feel like your balances aren't going down. They help match you with debt solutions tailored to your financial situation. You also don't have to worry about whether or not if they will accept your credit score because there is no minimum credit score required. PDS debt accepts bad and fair credit. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies for PDS debt. Stop waiting and start saving. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/rotten. It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/rotten. pdsdebt.com/rotten. Police track the IP address and end up in a PC방, internet cafe, in a nearby town. Are you sure this is the one? It's further away from their actual town. There's better internet cafes closer. Side note, an internet cafe, you can pay money to log onto one of their computers and use their Wi-Fi. They usually have food and snacks and really fast Wi-Fi, so a lot of people will specifically go to play games. But why would she go all the way here to write her post if she's from our town? They walk inside. Hi, we're with the police. We're going to need to see the CCTV camera footage from the past few weeks. Now they know why she came all the way here. No CCTV cameras. They said she paid in cash. They don't keep a log of customers. I'm sure now in 2024 in most areas, it's very different. Like South Korea is known as CCTV land. But back then you could likely pay cash and browse the internet with no data trace. You wouldn't even have to log on with your government ID number. I think things are different now, but you wouldn't have to. I feel like there's now limitations to that, but that means she was on a public computer, no record of her paying for that computer time in a place where there's no CCTV cameras. It's truly anonymous. They don't know what she looks like, so they can't even describe the poster to the employees. Besides, the employees aren't really trying to pay attention to every single customer coming in. That's when the detectives start thinking, what if the point of the post wasn't to tell the truth? What if the point of the post is to lead us the wrong way?
Whoa.
But what does that mean? An expert criminal profiler said, in my opinion, the credibility of the online post is very low. It's very abstract, and the actual content of how and why she gave the child over to these men was completely omitted. Why was that passing child in particular selected? It's omitted. The facts of the crime are only 2 lines out of the entire post. The profiler continues, contrary to the post that says she's now reporting this out of guilt for the child, it is strange that there is no content about the child's emotions on the report. You would imagine one would write, she looks so scared. She must have been so terrified. The look on her face still haunts me in my sleep. I can't stop thinking about the way her face looked up at me. But nothing about the child or the child's reaction. The post gave almost no specifics. How did the child follow her? How did she lure the child? How did the child react when she realized she was being taken away? There is nothing. It just reads, my heart hurts for the child. The expert profiler stated ultimately, in general, it does not match the psychological state that appears when a person commits a crime like this and feels remorse. It is difficult to see the post as a credible one. But now the police have an even bigger question. If it is a false report, who wrote it and why? What would be the reason for the post? To confuse the investigators? Somi slams down the VHS tapes on the table when her husband Na comes home. It's unclear exactly what was said during this confrontation, but it doesn't seem like Na cared too much that his wife found out. Or maybe he knew it's too late to act like he's still the same husband because he just drops the act. He just tells her straight up, I will let you leave. I will let you walk out of here on your own 2 feet on one condition. I let you leave as long as you never speak another word of this to anybody. Somi is terrified. On one hand, she knows she should have gone to the police with this, but she hoped that her husband would tell her it was fake, it was all edited. She wanted to give him the chance to explain, but no, he's confirming these are very real, and now the only way out alive probably is to take this deal, to walk out and never speak another word of it. Which she needs to walk out of here, does she not? So she nods, and she starts packing up her things. After years of marriage, he just tells her, you know, this is also a very normal thing in other countries. These types of videos, everybody makes snuff films for a profit. Someone told me it was lucrative, so I'm just selling it to foreign markets. I'm just doing it for money. It's not sick and twisted. Somi practically runs out of his house, and soon afterwards, Mr. Na is arrested for murder. But not the murder of the girls. He's arrested for a completely separate murder.
This is crazy. It just keeps going.
Yes. Na had plans to end this whole messy thing. I mean, it's only a matter of time, honestly, that his wife or ex-wife, it's very unclear, whatever his homie is to him now, she's gonna officially leave him. And she might tell someone eventually, maybe 5 years down the line, maybe 10 years down the line, or maybe there's gonna be rumors that she starts. And it's not even Somi that he's worried about. He feels like he has good grip on Somi. He has good control over her. But it's actually her little brother. Na always hated her little brother, his brother-in-law. He's the younger brother to Somi, and he acts like he's the man of the house, always trying to protect his sister, giving her advice. Eventually, Na knows that Somi, his wife, would tell her brother about what she saw, and he would, of course, give her unsolicited advice and ask her to go to the police station and make sure she tells them everything. So he hides. That's what Na does. He hides. July 3rd, 2002, around 10:30 a.m., he starts hiding outside the bushes of his house. Hiding in the bushes. His house. Na had asked Somi to come find his credit card, which was partly true. He did lose it. But more importantly, he had the whole apartment set up so that he could kidnap her.
Ex-wife?
Yeah. Because if she's being held hostage, then she can't really say anything, can she?
Okay, so he's backtracking now.
Yes.
He's trying to lure her back.
But he's in the bushes, peeking his head out, and he sees Somi walking up to the door with her brother. And it becomes very clear to him in that moment that everything he perhaps thought is very true. He's never going to be able to control his wife. Her brother's around. He will always be the dangerous variable. So he makes up his mind in that moment he has to kill him. He takes out the sharp knife that he was initially going to use to threaten his wife and kidnap her and allegedly hold her hostage. He waits for the front door to open. He rushes in, ambushes the little brother-in-law, stabbing him first straight in the forehead, then his shoulder, stomach, and back. His brother-in-law died right there on the floor from excessive blood loss.
All in front of the Somi.
Yes, and he also assaults Somi.
Like stabbing her.
Doesn't stab her, but he beats her.
But not try to kill her.
No. Now, it's really hard to argue that it's not you that stabbed someone in the forehead with a knife. The knife belongs to Na. This is Na's house. Na has motive. Na murders his brother-in-law in front of his wife. He has witnesses, and he has the victim's blood on his arms. It's very hard to argue that. The arrest, investigation, and even trial goes by really quickly. There really is no big investigation. He did it. What else is there to investigate? The authorities barely talk to Somi and ask for her side of the story, and she's not going out of her way to tell the police anything. Na quickly gets sentenced to 15 years in prison, and the book closes. But there's a few cases that detectives always say keep them up at night. Most of the time they're unsolved, but sometimes they're solved and there's just something that isn't clicking in their minds. It doesn't make sense. The lead detective on this case is laying in bed. Na killed his brother-in-law because his wife was going to leave him. That's what's stated in court. Her brother was going to help her leave, but technically she had already moved out. So the worst was over, and he didn't seem upset when she moved out. It wasn't until later he kills his brother-in-law, so why? This is the case that this detective thinks about before he goes to bed for the next 4 years. Finally, he can't take it anymore, and he reaches out to the ex-wife, Somi. This is years
crazy.
after he's already in prison for murdering her brother. And this time she's willing to tell him everything. I think the distance helped. I
the
imagine
time.
she was very terrified. She tells the detective everything, the marriage, the tapes. She tells him about the VHS tapes, and he doesn't even know how to respond. The whole thing sounds like it's straight out of a Karen Slaughter thriller novel, which, by the way, one of Karen Slaughter's books has the exact premise of this. Local girl goes missing, wife checks successful husband's computer and sees videos of girls that look just like the missing girls, and they're creating snuff films. The husband runs a snuff film empire. I did a BAM on it, which I'll link, but it's so eerie similar to a novel.
What was it called?
Pretty Girls.
Right, that's what it reminds me of.
Yes. And the detective is like, there's no way this is real. They ask her to describe the girl in the video, her facial features. Somi tells him enough detail, what she saw in the video, that truly it would be weird for her to make it up. She has no vengeance against her ex-husband. He's already in jail. And of course, she probably hates the guy, but there's no reason for her to make this up. It's not even in line with how people usually lie or make false reports. And the girl Somi is describing, 5 years after the fact, looks exactly like the girl from the missing girls posters. Even years later, she still remembers all the details so vividly, and she's describing it with so much emotion that the detective just trusts her. He said, she talked in great detail. I didn't show her any of the photos of the missing children in advance, but she gave very accurate statements. She spoke again in such great detail. He runs back to his team. We have to look into it. We have to search Na's house now. We need to find those tapes. Before the police search Na's house, an interesting letter is sent out from prison. A letter from Na to his family. It reads, "What did you do with my bag and computer? Not the ones in Gangjin, but the other ones. You should dismantle the computer and break it and dispose of it. What about my luggage and belongings, the ones in Gwangju? When you come to visit me in prison, just talk about my well-being, not this and that. I'll ask if I'm curious."
Who did he send it to?
His mom.
So he wants the mom to destroy evidence.
Yes, but he writes it so nonchalant. What did you do with my computer? You should probably dismantle it and break it and get rid of it.
I wonder what the mom does then.
She does that. It seems like she does exactly that. When the police storm into his old house, the first thing that sticks out to them is it's almost like a supervillain movie. Na has 2 boards on his wall, a chalkboard and a whiteboard, and on it are just a bunch of random symbols and characters, multiple different languages squashed together. There's Korean, there's Japanese, there's English, periods randomly, exclamation points, numbers. It looks like some sort of code. Look, there's 360 characters used. The purpose of the code is to make decoding very, very difficult. That's what the authorities believe. To confuse the reader, and it's working. Whoever reads it, if I walk into his house and stumble upon it, me as the reader, I don't know what's going on. He created a code with his own rules, and steadily he is writing in secret letters. The police have to create some sort of index to try and decipher it, and the first message that they're able to decipher on the board is, written in large code across the top, reads, "Use women financially." Let's keep going. What about this one? Following the code index they created, if the code index is correct, this one says, "King of the brilliant nation. I will use my psychopath techniques and I will film pornography." The rest of the codes that have been deciphered have not been released verbatim, but it has been described as content relating to desires for crimes against children and desires for child grooming.
How is this not a movie? The code is alleged?
No, the idea that he's connected to those missing girls is alleged.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But
And
even
the tapes haven't been found.
Right, but those writing scribbles,
Yes.
that is not normal.
Exactly. So some people say that he was later diagnosed with schizophrenia. I don't know, because I think the part that I was like, okay, perhaps was him running down the alleyway, but I'm not sure. Maybe someone was chasing him, or he could have just been on edge because of the illegal stuff he's doing. Like, he could have thought police are chasing him.
Yeah.
I don't think I feel like schizophrenia is a very, just like we don't understand enough about schizophrenia, so let's throw it on people when we don't understand. I think that he's sick. Everything he does seems pretty meticulous.
Yeah.
The code is very meticulous. It doesn't seem like someone going through psychosis and having hallucinations.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, because usually people that are schizophrenic, and from my knowledge, please correct me if I'm wrong, if they truly believe that they are in danger, they will right things,
Yeah.
but it's usually very frantic. Like
yeah. This one is like he's putting a lot of thoughts
the
behind it.
code is very, and he has been using this code even today in prison. He's still using the code.
Right.
So, and he's developing the code and altering the code. So it's a very long, lengthy process that seems very well thought out, well planned.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other codes reads, I am the most precious. Make others naive for my benefit. Never be deceived. And another one, a more chilling one, if you consider the timing of it. This was written right after the second girl vanished. And it reads, if they just didn't know me, I wouldn't have committed any sins. If I simply would have not been born, I would have no sins at all. So again, some people liken this to, oh, maybe he's schizophrenic and he's saying like, what's wrong with me? I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't understand. However, other criminologists believe the way he's writing is almost, I have to commit crime. I was born to commit crime. So if I hadn't been born, I wouldn't have committed crime. Yeah. It's not my fault that I was born. It seems more from a place of anger rather than from a mental health disorder. Why would he write it in code though, to begin with? What does the code mean to him? And does it have a link to the missing girls? That's all the evidence the police find. They do not find a single VHS tape. They're all gone. Even though the police don't have solid evidence to nail Na, they theorize that he might be the child serial killer in the area, that he's responsible for at least 2 of the missing girls, and he might have been using them to create snuff films to sell to foreign markets. The timeline is making a lot of sense. The first little girl, Seongju Kim, disappeared June 15th, 2000. She was last seen around 2 p.m. sitting on a bench in front of a stationery store. She was waiting for her older brother to get out of school so that they could walk home together, like they always do. Then, almost exactly a year later, June 1st, 2001, the second child disappears on her way home from school, just like Seongju Kim. Her name is Han Kim, no relation by the last name, but she vanished on her walk from school. She was last seen standing at a crosswalk, trying to cross in the direction of her house, and then vanished. And here's the interesting thing. A lot of younger to mid-20-year-old guys were ruled out since most of them would have likely spent 2 years in the army. Interestingly though, after the first little girl disappears, Na is enlisted in the army. Technically, he should have been in the army when the second little girl goes missing, but he gets early discharge for medical reasons. And right after his discharge, the second little girl goes missing.
Wow.
And then a year after that, he gets arrested for murdering his brother-in-law.
Wow.
And girls stop going missing.
Okay.
Well, there were recent cases where girls did start going missing again, but it didn't seem like it was the same person. So girls stopped going missing in the same fashion. And then around the time that he's arrested, a few years later, his wife states that she found snuff films that he made with what looks like the second girl that went missing, Halen. Now, they theorize that Na is responsible for both girls going missing. That would mean that both the girls' disappearances are linked. And there are a lot of similarities between the two. It just doesn't seem like a coincidence, especially in a much smaller town, not even a big city. Both kidnapped in broad daylight after school, both vanishing without a trace. Authorities said it's like they just evaporated on their walk home. Not at night, on their walk home in daylight. Their last seen locations were less than a mile apart from each other. They had over 270 people out searching for both girls, police from neighboring towns and jurisdictions all coming in to help. Nothing. All there were just rumors at the time. In addition to the code, authorities found search results in Na's devices. They read, Statute of Limitations for Child Disappearance Crime, how to calculate the statute of limitations in elementary kidnapping case, Statute of Limitations table, Statute of Limitations table by crime, elementary school disappearance case. And most interestingly, he was looking up the serial disappearance children case in Gangjin, which is where they went missing. But the biggest piece of evidence, in many netizens' opinion, is the room. On the dark web, there's a rumor that you can visit a red room where you watch live streams of people who are tortured and murdered on camera for views, allegedly. Allegedly, this one is yellow. Somi said the room in the VHS tapes, the ex-wife, she said, I've never seen those rooms before. I don't recognize those rooms, so it doesn't look like it was happening inside of our house. It had to have been somewhere else. Maybe he rented a different place. Will you describe the room for us? Yellow floors, windows are covered with newspaper. There were strings, saws, hairpins, and boxes laying around. The information, the description of the room was never released to the public at the time because the police had never seen the videos the wife saw in the first place. There was no way for them to confirm it even existed, the tapes, or even the room. That is until a man named Min-soo comes forward. He's an adult now, but he said he wasn't when he was in Na's yellow room. He said Na would take him inside this 2-story red brick house in a room with yellow floors, newspapers covering the windows, and he comes forward to tell the authorities that he and Han, the second girl that went missing, were actually in the same class. All the kids at the time, even the adults, were saying it was a ghost that had lured the 2 girls out every June. But Min-soo knew it wasn't a ghost. It was the creepy man that lived near the playground. He would lure the kids to his little studio and essay them. Min-soo said, to be fair, at the time, Na didn't seem creepy at all. In fact, he just seemed like a college-aged older brother that liked to treat kids like adults. It's not like some stinky 60-year-old ajashi trying to snatch kids. He's like the cool guy, smoking cigarettes, drinking soju, and he's like, hey kid, you want to come over and play games? What kind of 8-year-old says no to that? Every day, Min-soo and Han, the girl that goes missing, would have to walk by his house to get to school. And Min-soo said for him, it was very natural. They all started hanging out. Min-soo remembered Na would tell him, if you want to hang out, play games, and eat junk food, walk to my house and knock on the wall. If I hear it and my parents aren't home, then I'll let you in. It's unclear if this was happening in his parents' house or if he was saying that to get the kids to feel more comfortable around him. Because now it's
like
no longer
adults,
yes.
older people.
And like we're all just kids trying to hang out. At first, Min-soo said he would willingly go to Na's house to play games. Then the essays started. Once that happened, Min-soo said he was too scared to say anything to anyone, but he does start avoiding Na, and Na would chase him around town, waiting for him. Sometimes Min-soo would get out of school and he'd be waiting at the door.
Would not essayed Min-soo.
Yes, and he would film it. We'll get to it. So he would wait at the door for Min-soo to get out of class. Min-soo would try to run out the back of the school and run through the field. And he wasn't even running in the direction of his home. He would just run in any direction to get rid of Na. But Na would always be there when he comes out of the wood clearing. And he discovered that Na is watching him with binoculars, stalking him. It was terrifying. The more Min-soo avoided Na and refused to hang out with him anymore, the more aggressive Na became at wanting to essay him. It almost starts feeling like an obsession. He says, I think he had videos of young children. I think he had explicit videos with children my age. From then on, he started molesting me, and he would touch my private areas while watching these explicit videos or make me touch him. And then it progressed into full essay, and it was honestly so painful. It was very difficult. Min-soo states that he was essayed several times by Na, and there would always be a camera in the room. Other witnesses came forward. They're all adults now, but they stated that when they were a kid, Na would lure them to their house on the premise of letting them play games, but he would constantly force them watch explicit videos of children with him. Some of them stated he kept trying to molest them until they ran away. Min-soo says he always filmed it when he molested me, not a camcorder, but you know those really old videotapes? The old big tapes that go into the video? He filmed with that, like a VHS recorder. It was scary because he said he was filming me and he said he would sell it on foreign sites or something. When Min-soo was asked why he didn't report it as a kid and only now report it as an adult, he said, now that I think about it, I think Mr. Na was very obsessed with children. But at the time when I was a kid, I didn't think like that. It was only as time passed and I became an adult and I thought, oh, this man is likely kidnapping those kids. The police had nothing else to go off of for Min-soo's case and the girl's case. They're able to locate the studio that the videos were allegedly filmed in, and sure enough, a room like that does exist in town, and it's near where Min-soo said it was, but there were no tapes left behind, just a video recorder. And Min-soo confirmed that's the one he used on me, like he was filming it.
How is that not enough evidence?
Yeah.
All of these witnesses, all of these people?
Statute of limitations as well.
Oh, so they're no longer even going after this.
It's in the court of law, victim stories, especially when so much time has passed, is not believed because the defense attorney can easily argue that memories can be edited, altered, changed over time, or completely false. So they don't have concrete evidence, and the statute of limitations is almost coming to an end. So it's not the highest priority case. Sometimes when there's murders, they will become higher priority when the statute of limitations is gone for first-degree murder now in South Korea. But when it was coming to an end, there would be like a renewed search. But this was not that. There was really no evidence to bring to court, so police resort to the last option. It's not the best idea, but it's usually done when there are no more ideas left, which is to have Min-soo confront Mr. Na, and hopefully they can get a response out of him, trigger him into admitting something. But when Min-soo goes to meet with him, it's said that Na just smiled at him leisurely, just smirked. Min-soo said it was so reminiscent of the smile that Na would give him when he was essaying him. He was terrified. He felt like he was a kid again, back in that studio. He said his whole body, his arms, he could feel goosebumps starting to come out. And they did not get a confession. Until right before Na's release date from prison. This is the first time he's in prison.
15 years.
Yes, he's about to be released.
How is it, first of all, how you kill someone and then give 15 years?
Exactly. So he's about to be released, and out of the blue, Na states that he wants to talk to a detective. The detective goes to visit him in prison, sits down with him, and he allegedly tells the detective, "You're right about Min-soo. I essayed him, and you were right about those 2 girls. I killed them."
Okay.
Where are their bodies? Near the river. The detective gives him a map and watches him draw a circle with his pointer finger. "Yeah, I left their bodies there." The detective glances at the prison officer because it's time for the detective to take a trip down to the river. This is in 2010, okay? He confesses. So why is this case still unsolved? Why is he ultimately released from prison? The confession he made was not only not recorded, meaning the detective or the prison officer did not even write a report on it at the time. They were so busy. It was not recorded. No audio or visual or even written statements. Just the officer's memories, and Na would argue they were false. He claimed he never confessed to a single thing, and it's crazy that they're saying he did. He told everyone, "I never said any of that. I never confessed." So it became another he said, she said, back and forth.
But why do you think he even tried to confess in the first place?
If netizen speculations are correct, it seems that he was getting off on getting away with it. Because around this time, I think he knew that there was no evidence and the statute of limitations was coming to a closer end.
Wow.
He gets released from prison in 2017, walks out a free man, then walks back into prison accused of kidnapping, essaying, and torturing 2 little girls. But he is free now, again, in 2024.
What?
He only got like 2-3 years for that.
So he is free?
He's free.
Is his identity hidden?
Just Na. That's all we know.
We don't know who he is, his name, his face, nothing.
Nothing. And the reason that he ends up in jail the second time is so reminiscent of everything else that people have been saying about him, kidnapping, essay, and the fact that a lot of netizens believe he went after a woman who, according to her mother, has the, quote, mental capacity of a 6-year-old. It just, all of that seems really disturbing. Now, there is no statute of limitations for disappearances, meaning if you disappear, the police will hopefully, in theory, conceptually, look for you indefinitely. There is no statute of limitations for that. However, if they find you and you have been kidnapped and essayed, there is a statute of limitations for kidnapping and essay. There's even a statute of limitations for murder at the time. It was 15 years. So if they find your body after 16 years, the killer is getting away with it. It's almost like a challenge for killers. It was thankfully abolished in the National Assembly in South Korea. One of the policymakers said, just the fact that a criminal can be punished at any time can give hope to a victim. So in 2015, the law is passed abolishing the statute of limitations for first-degree murder, but it does not apply retroactively. Which, side note, I believe they abolished the statute of limitations for a lot of other crimes as well. But for first-degree murder, because it's abolished in 2015, if it's been 15 years since you committed murder, it does not apply to you.
Only moving forward.
Yes, but if it's been 14 years, it's not, it's forever now. Like you can get caught anytime. But if it's 15 years, if it's past the 15-year mark, then you're free. Ha-eun was kidnapped in 2001. If Na is guilty, then his statute of limitations is up in 2016. Meaning, if he is found guilty of murdering Ha-eun, he could still be punished for it. But they don't have Ha-eun's body. And typically you need a body to prove that it was first-degree murder, which is very different from things like second-degree murder.
So you're saying they only had one? No.
The other case is past the statute of limitations.
Oh, okay. So only one of the girls.
Only one. It seems like it's a very unlikely and very hard mountain to climb. Regardless of if it is Na or not or somebody else, it seems really hard to bring justice at this point. But Na, whether you believe he's guilty or not of murdering the 2 girls, he was still found guilty of murdering his brother-in-law and kidnapping and essaying a woman with intellectual disabilities. And he is a free man. Side note, remember the code he was using? Still using it in prison. He had added 200 pages of code into his diary. So what has he been writing? It could be plans for all we know. Now, there are supporters of Na who believe that he did not do this. They state there were no sightings of him with the kids. There were no sightings of him at the site of the disappearances or even nearby. There were no people coming forward right after the crime took place. So how do we know it's him? We're just ruining a good man's life for no reason. We're just bothering him. But the biggest supporter for Na is his mom. Producers from a separate show were able to get in contact with her, and she told them, don't even talk about what happened in Gangjin. You don't know anything about it at all. Our baby is not someone who would do that. Don't go around talking like this just because our baby is in prison. What do you know? Do you have evidence?
My baby?
Yeah. Full grown man. Convicted of murder at one point. But she says, my baby. Most of the people that were asked about Na had nothing but good things to say about him because they were all adults. Experts say with most child essayers, they could be very well liked or even highly regarded in the neighborhood because they only commit crimes with people they can control. And typically that's not fellow adults. Typically those are children or someone with disabilities. They're the most vulnerable. One of the detectives working the case said, honestly, Na may not really be the killer, which if that's the case, I would really wish that he would explain then why he's not the killer. I would hope that he voluntarily steps up and explains the parts he can explain, such as, oh, what kind of videotape it was, or at the time his ex-wife is referring to this or that, whether it actually existed, where he was at certain points, but he doesn't do any of that. If he can explain why it's not him, we would spend energy to verify the claims that it's not him for ABC reasons and exclude him from the suspect list.
Yes.
Finally, rule him out and spend more energy and resources searching for the actual culprit. But he's not doing that. All he did was confess and then retract, and since then he has not spoken about it. But netizens are not so forgiving. A lot of netizens said the math is not mathing, it's not adding up. If it was maybe just his ex-wife, then that's one thing. Maybe it's like an ex-wife who hates him. But the details she gave about the tapes are oddly specific. Then Min-soo comes forward, another victim that stated they experienced SA from Na, and they have matching descriptions of the room. That's weird. His codes, the camera with no footage found. I mean, they stated it's just too many coincidences. And clearly this is a man that is capable of murder, essay, and kidnapping because he was convicted of those crimes, just not for these specific cases. So it seems pretty damning. One netizen comments, when he comes out, he will essay and murder again. Pedophilia is incurable, and these monsters are going to keep doing it. Wake up, you idiots who defend him. Other netizens argue, sure, we can debate if he did kill those 2 girls or not, but he did kill his brother-in-law. He did essay and try to kidnap a person with intellectual disabilities. He did admit briefly to molesting Min-soo and then retracting the statement. I mean, even if he's not guilty of what he's being accused of, he's pretty freaking guilty for what he has confirmed he's done. Others just argue that he should be surgically castrated. Others argue sarcastically, I mean, even if he's done all these things, guys, we need to rehabilitate him and make him adapt back into society. It's sarcasm and a pain point for the fact that he was released after 15 years.
I see.
Someone just commented, that's why nobody's having kids anymore in this country. Why have kids in a place like this? Another angry Korean netizen commented, our country is a great place to live if you're a criminal. Ha-eun's dad, the second girl that goes missing, said, my daughter is still breathing among us, with us. She doesn't speak, but my daughter is still by my side, inside of me. If my daughter were still here, she would be 30 years old. Had she not vanished, the family's life would probably be very different from what it is now. Ha-eun's dad still regularly checks welfare facilities and hospitals to see if she might be living somewhere. He said the best hope that can get him through the day is that his daughter was in some sort of unknown accident, had amnesia, and did not know how to get back home. And he has to go find her and bring her home. He said, once my daughter went through puberty, she was probably had lost a lot of the physical characteristics that I remember of her. I feel like she's even more lost now, because if her appearance has changed too much, she'll be that much harder to find. Seongju's mom, the mother of the first little girl that went missing, she keeps her front door to her house wide open. They said if she ever gets there while they're asleep or while they're not home, they want her to feel like she can come inside, that she's home now and she's safe. They have never locked the door since the day she vanished. They keep it open. They keep her room exactly the same, textbooks stacked on her desk, bed made. She said it feels appropriate because for her family, it feels like time has been frozen since she vanished. They can't throw away her clothes in case she returns, which they know is silly because even if she were to walk in the door right now, she'd be 30. She can't fit those clothes, but they can't not keep it. In one of the tiny little jacket pockets, she has a neatly folded bill, cash. The producers asked, why did you put money in your daughter's jacket pocket? I put money in there so she won't lack money wherever she is. She can buy candy wherever she is. If there's one thing I could say to my daughter, it'd be, let's not meet too late. Let's meet as soon as possible if we can. And that is the case of the alleged snuff filmmaker in South Korea. What are your thoughts on this case? I mean, even the documentary episodes feel like movies. It was crazy. I've never heard of a case like this. It was actually recommended by one of our Korean researchers, and she was saying it's crazy. I mean, I was watching your BAM and I was like, this sounds like the case in Korea. What are your thoughts? Do you think he's guilty? Please leave it in the comments, and please stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Agua, agua.
I'm not entirely sure what's been going on in this world, but I feel like everybody who owns a food company has been off the freaking rocker recently. We had the burger wars in the United States where the McDonald's CEO eats burger. Everyone starts clowning on him for the way that he ate the burger. Also, he did call the burger a product.
I love this product. It's a delicious product.
So like it was just all sorts of weird. He was acting like a robot. And then all of a sudden, Burger King CEO is like, let me show you how to eat a burger. And then it got to the point where there were too many CEOs trying to show us, the regular people, that they also can eat burgers. And then it just got weird. It was almost like I want to see every single fucking CEO of every major tech company. I want to see how they do the dishes, because that will tell me everything I need to know about you. Because the way someone does the dishes, it's like you've never done the dishes in your life. You can't fake it. Anyway, that has nothing to do with today's story. But today's story is about another food war that's happening in China right now. And I've never experienced a story like this in which one influencer, usually when you hear about influencers and restaurants, it just is gonna piss you off, okay? Because it's like, hey, you do pretty well for yourself. You don't need to be doing all of that to get a free appetizer. Like, it's just not that serious. Pay for your own food, tip your waiter. It's not that serious. But this is a whole different level. This is not an influencer who said, I want a free meal. This is not an influencer who said, do you know who I am? Well, he did do that. But this is the most batch crazy. It's almost as if one influencer, let's say I almost take down the Cheesecake Factory. That's the type of power we're talking about right now. But first I have to tell you about Xibei.
Xibei.
So there's this restaurant called Xibei. It's a huge chain in China. It's like the Cheesecake Factory. It's like, what's another huge chain here that's around? PF Chang's is kind of pricey. Cheesecake Factory is kind of pricey. It's not fast food. Well, you know what? These days, Chipotle is getting crazy with their prices and their portions, but it's not like Chipotle prices. Like, you go there to have a sit-down meal. You might even have a birthday party there. So it's kind of like Cheesecake Factory, California Pizza Kitchen. I always call it Chicken Kitchen, okay? It's that level of food. But Xibei doesn't even market towards adults. They market towards the kids. They say, bring your kids in because we have the healthiest kid menu that you've ever seen in a chain restaurant. Here's the thing about Xibei. They say you go to any other freaking restaurant and you look at the kids menu, it's 3 things. It's gonna be like chicken nuggets and fries, butter noodles, and that's about it. Grilled cheese. There's no real food for the kids. But Xibei said every order that you have, I mean, the kids menu is just as long as the adult menu. Everything is made fresh. Everything is so good. It's the highest material. It's organic, non-GMO. They do every single ad for this.
They're not like organic and non-GMO?
The kids menu is.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Wow.
So they do a lot of advertisements about this. They'll do family advertisements where the entire family is blindfolded. Do you see where I'm going with this?
No.
Could you imagine where I'm going with this?
No.
And they're all holding up their chopsticks in the air. It just says, order with your eyes closed. Every dish is delicious. It's just like every single advertisement. There's this whole advertisement where there's this little girl who's reading the menu at Shibe. And she's like, what does organic mean? And then the waitress is like, I'll show you. Grabs her hand, takes her to the fields. Then she meets another girl who's the daughter of the farmer. And they're like, this is what organic means. We have to look for pests ourselves because we don't use harsh pesticides. And they have a magnifying glass and they see a ladybug. And I'm like, see, that's what would convince me to get into gardening. That's how I tried to get into gardening. And then I saw the real bugs that plants attract. And I was like, fuck no, okay? So they're like, we look for the pest. Every seed. Instead of buying 2 Barbie dolls, I bought this organic seed. And then they plant the seed together.
Okay.
And I was just like, this is cute, but also weird. And then the next one is like, this little kid is at the restaurant and is eating a lamb skewer because they're really big on lamb dishes. And she's like, why is this lamb so yummy? And the parents are like, because it's grass-fed lamb. And then it just takes you to see all the lambs. And I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But they do that, okay? So with everything that Shibe has been promoting, your impression of the restaurant is certainly their food is going to be made fresh on the spot, prepared with the best ingredients. The brand positions itself as a family restaurant, so you're paying premium prices. Their pricing is at a level which it's kind of like Din Tai Fung prices.
Explain Din Tai Fung for people.
Okay. Din Tai Fung is a Taiwanese brand of food where you go there. There's locations in California and one in New York. I don't know anywhere else that has one. But you go and you sit down and you say, ooh, you know what? I do want an appetizer. Can I get the cucumber dish? $8. $8 for a fucking cucumber dish.
Tiny. But it's
Then
so good though.
Then
Stephanie's
the waiter
favorite.
comes out. Oh yeah, I didn't I fuck it up, okay? So then the waiter comes out.
Pulls up a mukbang video.
Stop! Don't remind me, okay? Stop it right now.
I think everybody actually knows exactly what restaurant we were talking about.
I still cannot walk into a single Din Tai Fung without someone going, I've seen your videos eating Din Tai Fung. And I go, oh. Then the waiter pulls up with this tiny little, you know those like peach tree dishes that scientists use? Like that size of a dish. And it's precisely one mini Persian cucumber cut into different little slithers and then dipped in chili oil.
Delicious.
$8 and I order it every single time. It's so good. Okay, it's Din Tai Fung prices. So I'm expecting that cucumber was farmed in the back of Din Tai Fung's owner's, founder's house. Like I'm expecting this cucumber to be out of this world.
Didn't they say Din Tai Fung is like the highest grossing
Oh, yeah.
dollar restaurant in America? Like
Yeah.
one of the locations like the most brings in the most revenue.
They make so much money. They have pretty much robbed me and my family. My sister, every time she's in New York, the amount of Din Tai Fung she consumes, she goes on Xiaolongbao tours in New York. Okay, that's another story for another time, but it's bad. It's bad. Shibe is like the Din Tai Fung in China. It's not the same, but it's kind of the same. I think it's like Din Tai Fung, Shibe, Haidi Lao. They're all in that same sphere of they're in every single city. Everybody knows them, and everyone knows that when you go, you're not getting an affordable meal, but hopefully you're getting a good meal. But Shibe, even compared to Haidi Lao, is super expensive. Haidi Lao in the US, I think, is really
kidding me.
expensive. But I think Haidi Lao in China is less expensive because when you get a kid's meal at Haidi Lao, I don't know why the kids aren't eating the hot pot, but if you get like a kid's meal of a hamburger, I don't know why they're getting hamburgers. You know what? I have so many questions, actually. Okay, but there's a Chinese hamburger that you can order at Haidi Lao.
Which is hot pot in China.
Yeah, it's a hot pot, so you would think it's something else. Like you would expect some sort of dry pot for the kids or something. But no, they get a hamburger on the kids' menu and it's $1.28 if you use a coupon. Without the coupon, it's $4.25. But everybody uses coupons in China. Oh yeah, my researchers were telling me, you don't know what the coupon game is in China? They're like, oh my God, you're so dumb. So they're like, okay, let's say you come to China. The food delivery
I
game.
remember the coupon now when I was young.
What do you mean? Why are you?
Because when you get a coupon, you actually save the coupon. Because that's your like future meal. Like it gives you the day. You can enjoy this in the next 2 months. So you keep that coupon until you can afford the burger. So you go there, hand in the coupon, the money. Oh, I remember this now.
Wait, that's
They
so
don't do that
cute.
here?
They do, but the coupons in America are kind of ass. It's like, when you spend $50, you get 30 cents off. Huh? And I'm like, then I might as well not spend the $50 to get 30 cents off. But my researchers were telling me it's not even just the coupons. Coupons and delivery systems are crazy. So they were saying in China right now, it's been a problem. All the food delivery apps, you know how Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, they're all a luxury in the US. Like, I want to use it for every meal. It's like, oh, okay, like now you're paying for the delivery and tip as you should. You got to tip the drivers. However, in China, I guess the major companies are in such a battle of who's going to take over the delivery space that the deliveries are so quick and they're cheaper than if you were to go to the restaurant yourself. So people will actually do the thing where they get on the delivery app, redeem the coupons inside the restaurant, and then pick it up and take it to go.
Oh,
Because
they'll give
see
you
the
discounts.
price, yeah, online on the delivery app, and then see it in person, and it's cheaper on the delivery app.
Wow.
Yeah, so they self-deliver. It's been crazy, okay? Now, Heidi Lao, kids menu, $4.25, $1.28. Shibei, much more expensive. You're talking about like at least $6 and then easily goes up.
And also, just so people know, $6 doesn't sound like a lot, but in China, times 7,
Yeah.
that's 42. Just imagine spending $42 on a kid's meal. Like
Yeah.
literally, because that's kind of how much people make, and
On a child.
Exactly.
I just have a question for parents out there. If you have a child and let's say you got a piece of delicious lobster and the best part is the top part of the lobster, do you give it to your 2-year-old who doesn't appreciate the taste of lobster? Or do you consume it because that kid doesn't appreciate the taste of lobster yet? Well, maybe when they're 10, they'll appreciate it. Like,
Expose yourself.
yeah, because I'm so curious about it, because I see my sister and she's like saving all the good parts, and I'm like, hey, so I met your kids, they're gremlins and they'll eat like sticky rice off the floor. I think you should also enjoy some food once in a while. She's like saving all the pretty parts. I'm like, this is crazy. I've seen the way your kids eat. Okay. No, anyway, their food ranges around like $6 for a kid's meal, and the best comparison that I can give you is there's no comparison. It's just a solid restaurant, mid-range to high-end, and everybody comes and it's a good time. It's the family restaurant brand. And not to mention, when you go into Shibei, they give you an hourglass and they guarantee that all the dishes are going to be served before the hourglass ends. I don't know how much time is in that hourglass, but if it doesn't come in that time, you get your meal for half off.
Damn.
But September 10th, 2025, there's this influencer by the name of Lo. Now, Lo is a very interesting influencer because he looks like a middle-aged physics teacher. I don't know how else to describe Lo to you. He's got a dad build, he's got a physics teacher build, and he wears glasses, and his hair is like a little bit past the prime all the time. It's like every time you look in the mirror and you go, I should probably shower and wash my hair. That's how his hair is all the time, and I love him for that.
He talks just like a physics teacher too.
Yes.
With no, what is it?
No, his cadence is just pure monotone.
那个时候的作文你们也知道，是要今天跟我的学生同学。
But he's top string influencer.
Yeah, he is.
He's the speed of China.
Yeah, he's iShow speed of China, and this is how he looks and this is how he talks. And honestly, I think it's kind of endearing. But he goes onto Twitter, or like Weibo, which is Chinese Twitter, and he posts, "It's been a long time since I last ate at Shibei. After getting off the plane today, I had a meal there with my colleagues, and I realized almost everything was pre-prepared, and it was still so expensive. It's honestly disgusting. I really hope the government pushes legislation soon to require restaurants to clearly indicate whether they use pre-prepared food." Okay, let me give you some context. There is also a war going on in China of pre-prepared food. This is a huge thing in China. So when you go into a restaurant, everyone is expecting you to get the wok flavor. They say that's why you go out to eat. You eat at home because you need it to be affordable and it's good. And sometimes you'll order food because it's cheap, but that you're expecting pre-prepared food. Pre-prepared meaning these restaurants are almost like ghost kitchens.
Okay.
They have a big distribution center. Yes.
Okay, I don't know if I need to explain the food dishes
Yeah.
that you eat
Yeah.
in China to people, because because when you go to eat at a restaurant, like it's not sesame chicken, right?
Okay.
It's a lot of dishes. It's a lot of different dishes,
Yes.
and you cook with fresh ingredients.
Yes.
So it's like there you throw veggies and oil and you stir fry it, you know, chicken, like whatever. You stir fry it versus pre-produced food is almost like fast food because everything is kind of in the package.
Yes.
You dump it out of the package, you reheat it basically.
Oh, okay. So I guess the best comparison would be if you go to a fast food chain and you get a burger and that burger patty has been frozen and then they
Yeah.
just heat it up, throw it on the buns, put some sauce on
Which
it, put
is
some chopped
fine.
lettuce, which is fine. It's fine. But you're also expecting to pay the price of fast food.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh, I know the price. I know what I'm getting. Like, I know I'm not getting like a fancy cooked meal. It's fine as long as everybody knows, right?
Yeah.
But then if you go to a nice restaurant and they say, hey, I want $20 for this burger, I'm expecting
Yeah.
someone on the grill pressing my burger patty down, smashing it with his bare fist, adding an heirloom tomato on top. Like, I'm expecting the highest quality burger that I've ever inserted into my mouth. That's what I'm expecting. And that is what's going on with Shibei. Or at least you would assume, until Lo, the influencer, comes around and he says pretty much everything in that restaurant has been pre-prepared. Meaning, if you were to order some sort of delicious broth, well, guess what? It's not delicious because he thinks it comes from the main kitchen, which is outsourced, and then they just heat it up at the store.
They microwave it.
They microwave that shit. And he's like, what's the difference of me just going to get ready to eat meals from the freezer section of the grocery store and then cooking it at home? It would be a lot cheaper. So he posts this all over Weibo and it starts going viral. And I just need to give you some context on Lo. And I think that Lo's life and career history is one of the most fascinating things that I have ever witnessed because he is, at the end of the day, someone who fails at everything except being an influencer. I don't know how it worked out, but like he has failed everything else prior to that. Like he was actually considered one of the very first batch of influencers that made it to the spotlight.
He's old, by the way. He's like
Oh yeah.
probably 50s.
Yeah, and he's like the Wang Sutong of the influencers, but just like very different. So he's clearly not as rich as Wang Sutong, although he is quite a very wealthy man, okay? Not nearly as rich. A little bit older, definitely. More nerdy. And he's got time. This man has time. So when Wang Sutong goes after other celebrities, he'll do a tweet and then he'll forget about it because he gets very busy buying his dog, I don't know, diamond-crusted watches. And then he'll remember it and then he'll come back to it and do another tweet. But this man takes time. If he doesn't like someone, he holds a press conference. I'm not even fucking kidding you. He's done this every single time he didn't like someone. He holds a press conference.
And people eat it up.
Yes, and people show up. It's not even him sitting there live streaming and eating dinner and being like, you know what, I will address the rumors. It's not like that. It's a there's a podium. There's people sitting in a line. It's a press briefing. I'm like, we need to do stuff like that more often. We need to do that here. Like, I don't want these like drama breakdowns anymore. I want everyone to have press conferences. I want it to be live streamed. I want a bunch of drama channels sitting as in the press pool. And then they're raising their hands, asking questions. That's what I want. Could you tell me, are you Alex IX or EX? Like, I need that in a press conference format. I don't want interviews. I want a press conference. So that's what he does. And this man actually started off as an English teacher. So the fact that he can understand this entire video is sending me into a different dimension. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that you were nerdy.
He does look like a teacher. No wonder he carries himself like a teacher.
Yeah. And he blew up on the internet because people said that he was very comedic in his teaching.
Really?
Yeah, and then that's when it clicked for me. That you and I grew up so differently.
Oh, because that's like my English teacher?
No, because like I watched the clips that went viral of him where he's like making jokes, and I'm like, this is the most boring class I've ever been in. And
really?
so, and then like, oh, I guess most classes are very serious in China. So he has a very laid back style where he likes to tell stories as he teaches, which I feel like is a very common thing in the US. But Yeah. He's like, you know, when you watch those TikTok videos of the stand-up comedians who post their own stand-up sets because nobody else will post them, and like it's good enough that you'll watch it until the end, but you're not like cackling.
You're not hearting it.
And you're not like sending it to your friends. You're just like, okay.
All right.
And then you swipe, and then it's a dog, and then you're like, ah! And then you swipe, and it's hockey, and then you're like, computer? You know, like it's just one of those things, and that's him. So the lectures go viral because everyone's like, this guy is so funny. I don't hear a single laugh in the audience, but they're like, this guy is so funny. So then he starts teaching English online, and then he gets listed as one of the top 10 influencers in China in 2005.
As a teacher, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's like, I'm going to leave teaching and really spread my wings. So he creates his own business called Blog.
Blog?
It's spelled B-U-L-L-O-G.
Blog. Okay.
Blog. He wanted it to be Reddit. So it
Okay.
was a blog. Okay. And after a few years, it went bankrupt. And then the website shut down. Then he started an English tuition center called Lo and His Friends English Academy. And that also failed. And then in 2012, he decided that he was going to make smartphones. I don't know what's happening with this guy. So then he created a brand called Smartisan, Smart Artisan. He said, this is going to beat Apple. You don't even know. He went bankrupt. And he was 8 figures in debt, USD. He was like $10, $20 million in debt. And then he had an air purifier. Okay, I had multiple people fact check this because when a researcher was telling me about it, and I was like, are you just making shit up right now? Because that would make me upset. And she was like, no, I swear. And I low-key didn't believe her. I'm so sorry. So then I asked somebody else and I was like, can you just fact check that for me? Because it doesn't make sense. And they're like, no, it's real. So he started a humidifier company called Jose Tronco. I don't know what the fuck.
Jose Tronco?
Yeah, and he also had a sound system company that he called David and Shelley.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
He
know.
just makes like different electronics?
Yeah, but why would he name it David and Shelley? Who are David and Shelley to him? Who's Jose?
I think sometimes
What? What?
sometimes what they would do,
Yeah.
you make it sound foreign.
So that people want to pay for it.
So people think it's like a foreign brand. I'm serious.
Yes, maybe that's what he was doing.
Yeah. You want to make it sound exotic.
Yeah, so David and Shelley was the sound system. He also made an electronic cigarette brand called Vivild, VVILD. I don't know, a suitcase company. All of these failed. It was at this point where he was named the industry death lamp because everything he touches just dies. But then in 2020, he decides, let me just try live streaming really quick. He paid off all his debt through selling on live stream. And then he started a live streaming company where it's called Be Friends Holding Limited. I don't know what his obsession with English is. And then successfully listed it in China. I think
He went public?
Yeah.
Damn.
There was one live stream where I think he had $14 million in sales of products in one live stream. I think there was another one
What?
where he broke $25 million sold in a live stream.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking...
I think it's because he doesn't oversell things. He's just like a dad selling shit. And you're like, you know what, Mr. Lowe? I think I will buy that. Because he's just like, it's just okay, you know? So if you want it, it's okay. I mean, the price is okay. So what you're going to get is okay. So, okay. You're like,
Okay.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I guess I'll buy that. But one thing I will say that has never changed is his constant popularity. People like him. People like that he's a knockoff Wang Sutong. People like that he's very honest and that he just, I will say, he is dependable. I feel like if I had a problem, I could go to him. I think that he would be quite judgmental about my problem, but I think he would help me fix it. That's the vibe he gives. Let me give you an idea. There is the Simons, the refrigerator company.
Oh, 西门子.
Why'd you look at me like I was crazy when I said Seaman?
西门子.
Okay. Shimenzu. And he was like, no, it's a Chinese brand. I was like, I've never heard this brand. And he's like, it's a Chinese brand. And I was like, really? It doesn't sound Chinese. I Google it. It's like a German brand. And he goes, oh, no, but we all have it in China. And I said, okay. So then then the Siemens refrigerator and washing machine, they sell a bunch of household appliances. And he goes online and he's like, hey, listen up, Siemens. I got your refrigerator. I got your fucking washing machine. And both of them have broken down one after another. I would never buy this unlucky brand ever again. Let me tell you something. He says, 9 times out of 10, I close my refrigerator door. Then I walk away. And then I come back, it's popped open by itself. Am I living with a fucking ghost? Why is my refrigerator door not closing properly? He's getting pissed off. He posts this, tags Siemens. It gets reposted. It receives over 1,000 comments with people saying, I have the same problem. My refrigerator door keeps popping open. So then he's like, you know what? I've decided to hold a press conference. So then he has a press conference. He's an influencer.
Yeah.
He's having a press conference where he's taking down Siemens. He's like, let me read you of all the anecdotal stories that everybody has. And then he's saying things like, you know, your company sells IQ 100 series refrigerators. Why the fuck are you naming it that when it can't even keep its door closed? Like, he's aggressive. This man is aggressive, monotone. Everything is monotone. He's not even passionate.
But he's dissing. Like
He's like, why would you call it IQ 100 series refrigerators? I really don't have the time or energy to deal with everyone on the whole internet, but for the people leaving comments under this post, we gotta resolve their issues as soon as possible. Otherwise, bear the consequences yourself, Siemens. Are you seriously calling this IQ 100? That's the vibe he gives me. And it's just like, I feel like I did something wrong, okay? Underneath that post, everyone is just like voicing their problems. Siemens doesn't respond. For months, he's going at it. Press conference after press conference after press conference. He's talking to major news publications. He's going out there interviewing himself and other people. Like, he's doing all of it. Even then, Siemens is not reporting anything. He's going into electronic stores. He's talking to Siemens employees, and all of them are kind of bratty. I don't know why. That pisses him off some more. He gets extra pissed off at that. Like, why are you treating me like I'm dumb? So then what does he decide to do? He has another press conference, but this time outside of the Siemens headquarters in Beijing. And this is actually like quite poetic, but they had lined up 3 Siemens refrigerators, and he's got a mallet. And he just starts beating it to a pulp. And then this is when all the news stations are like, we gotta go! We gotta go! So then they show up and
That's
they're
like the
recording it.
Rimowa fire.
The Rimowa drama is crazy right now. There's this guy who got a Rimowa suitcase, and they're like freaking expensive. Okay, like the big metal one, I think it's like, I don't know, like $2,000. And it was open on the baggage claim. Open! And he said this is the 3rd time it's happened. He's like lighting the Rimowa suitcases on fire. All these different brands are getting involved.
Yeah.
I think even like a condom brand got involved. Wrap it up, pack it up. I don't know, right? So lots of people are getting involved, except for Rimowa. What are they doing? But they even hold up a sign, like a protest. So they beat up the refrigerators. And then they all sit and take like a class photo outside the Siemens headquarters. And it's actually like really sweet. Okay, the sign says, kindly request that Siemens admit their issues and solve the refrigerator door issue. And everyone's just like smiling. So the sheer drama, the sheer bizarreness creates such a buzz online that a few days after smashing the 3 refrigerators, he holds another press conference, and it feels so official. There's like presentations, there's slideshows, there's a mic that he's fidgeting with and it's not working right. He's got a clicker and everything, okay? So he's like, let me show you. From the image above, you can see that this one refrigerator has a white component on the door, while this one does not. That small component is what helps the door close properly. And he explains that these 2 brand new refrigerators he had just purchased, and even offered to show the media the receipts. Clearly, the quality control was off and something had gone wrong because that white part is gone. So the whole point of a refrigerator is to keep the door sealed and maintain a stable temperature. If the fridge can't even keep its door shut well enough to stay cold, then what's the point of a refrigerator? But for months, Siemens did not want to acknowledge this, did not provide us consumers with any sort of solution, and did not offer a formal apology. And everyone's like, trying to put sunglasses on him, you know, in the press conference. Like, people are loving this shit. And so he goes around and he's doing more press conferences until finally the president and the CEO of Siemens China had to issue a formal apology. They had to set up a special hotline and a dedicated Weibo account to assist anyone experiencing issues. They also offered free on-site inspections for those who needed it, and they could install a door closer at no cost. But it wasn't just Siemens, okay? This guy goes against everybody. Another notable fight was he got into a fight with the CEO of Zealer. Zealer is like a huge tech and lifestyle content platform that was like founded by this guy named Wang. This is back when he had his Smartisan phone. So the Wang guy doesn't like the Smartisan phone, reviewed it, and was like, hey, so it's ass. So then he was like, you know what? I'm going to fly to your city, and we're going to have a press conference debate. So they sit down and do a full debate. They said that this is the closest thing that China has had to a presidential debate. That's what a lot of people were saying. Okay. Yeah, they were saying it was fucking cutthroat. Other media outlets, like Forbes, were even saying this was the closest thing that China had to a presidential debate. That's not me saying that, okay? That was them. And Lo does not come. Like, this man does not come to a fist fight with his fist. He doesn't even come to a fist fight with a knife. He comes to a fist fight with a fucking F-13 fighter jet and a tanker and drone bombs. Okay, this guy is so insane. He did not bring a PowerPoint because I think the logistics of setting up a PowerPoint, maybe the other guy, Wang, didn't want it. So he had printed out giant flashcards that were twice the size of his body, and he was flipping through them one by one, just going completely overboard, confronting this guy in person.
So he won?
Yeah. So, I mean, his phone sucked ass. So the review was valid, okay? But he won the debate. He won the debate because he's that crazy. He'll have headers on his PowerPoint. Incorrect facts. Then he'll put it down and list all the incorrect facts.
So he's a debater. He's he can.
Debater.
That's why he's good,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He had another one that just said slander. And then he went on to say that Wang is a slander. And then he said Wang's company has been receiving funding from big tech companies recently. So there's incentive for him to want to shut down a new company that's creating similar things that would be competing in the market against those other companies. He also said, don't talk about being an independent bitch when you're just a fucking whore. I'm not even kidding. He didn't say it like that. He didn't say it like that. But he basically said it. We read in between the PowerPoint slides. We read the lines. He told him, don't talk about being an independent, thought-provoking person when you've got a sugar mama. So then it turns out, people were like, he's just saying stuff at this point. He's just calling him a little skank with no evidence. Turns out there are rumors that he was dating one of the CEOs of one of the biggest tech companies, and she was funding his lifestyle.
So there was like a secret scandal that was uncovered from this? Okay.
Yeah. Dong Minju?
Dong Minju?
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Who is she?
I don't know.
Compare her to someone. Like a Mark? Like a Jeff?
I don't know. Like Oprah Winfrey? I don't know.
Wait, what?
I just know she's old and rich.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's valid.
Like, I mean, that's all I know. When you hear that name, that's all I know.
Okay, founder of, or CEO of Gree Electronics. Have you heard of Gree Electronics?
No.
Okay.
Probably
so
maybe some kind of
like an old rich lady.
Super rich.
Yeah,
old,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, of course, both parties have denied such rumors, but he just got his ass wrecked. He just wiped the floor with him and then left with his smartphone. That's what Lo did. And Lo would even publicly say, like, as someone who holds grudges, that's what he says. He's like, look, I am someone who holds grudges. I never let any sort of thing go unpunished if I feel like I've been slighted. I also have a super highly aggressive personality. I've never lost an argument online. I've been through years of trials and tribulations. I just want everyone to know that my mind is so open-minded and broad that all of the enemies that I've made throughout my life could all fit in my mind and I would still find it so spacious. He said there would still be so much room left.
Oh man, that's so good.
But out of every single person that he's battled, he said there's one fight that he's lost to a Starbucks barista.
Bro.
There's a
Legendary.
viral video of him slapping himself in Starbucks because he's getting very confused by the sizes of like the tall grande
let me
venti.
tell people.
Yeah.
So there's this video. I don't really know what that video like started from, but he walked into Starbucks. He's like, I would like, you know why? Because I relate to him.
Why do you relate to him?
Because I still don't know the size difference.
We don't drink Starbucks anymore, but I know what you mean. Yes. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So you go into Starbucks and he said, I would like the medium-sized cup. And the barista is smiling. She never stopped smiling. She said, we have 3 cups. This is, what's the size? Grande?
Tall, grande, venti.
Tall, grande, venti. But in Chinese, basically it's like, it starts with medium large and extra large. He say, out of these three, I want the medium one.
The middle one.
Yeah. She's like, this one is large. This one is medium. He's like, but out of these three, I want the medium one. She's like, this one is a large. The other one is the medium. So this go back and forth a few more times and he's just start to slap himself.
And now people just use the meme of him slapping himself when they're just befuddled by any sort of conversation or behooved or anything is blasphemous. You're using that slapping meme, which, by the way, Starbucks also, everyone needs to chill out. But Starbucks, aside from the news that they've already been in, the CEO recently said, the reason that you're getting a $9 drink from us is for the experience. And everyone said, what the fuck?
Will you pay $9 for experience? He said?
Yes. And everyone's like, are we talking about the same fucking experience that every American has probably experienced in their lives one too many times and it was not a spectacular experience? That's crazy. Have you seen the library cafes that have been popping up in a lot of cities? I think there's one in Atlanta too now. I know there's a lot in New York, but they have a whole bookshelf of books and you can read them for as long as you're inside the cafe. And you can probably get like a $5 drink and stay there for 3 hours. So talk to me later about experience. Anyway. Lo posts this whole paragraph about Shibe, how he and his colleagues went there. Everything tasted like prepackaged food. Now, am I a PR person? No. But I think everyone with half a mind would tell Shibe, don't address this. Like, it's not a big deal unless, I mean, do you feel like this is such a big deal that you want to come out and refute this? Like, what's going on, right? Shibe could have just done nothing and nobody would have thought about it twice because it's just an accusation.
So his complaint is like, I went into this very high-end restaurant, like that I haven't been back for so long. Turns out everything in there, you pay premium price for fast food.
But the reason that people didn't think that Shibe should have responded is he didn't even phrase it like that. He was just saying everything tastes like prepackaged food. So it's like, I mean, that's just a subjective opinion. It's not a crazy accusation of like, I went into the kitchen or I saw someone doing something crazy in the back kitchen. It was just like, it tastes like
Yeah.
And it was expensive and it tastes like ass. So it's like, okay, his followers are going to see that and probably won't go. But I don't think Shibe needs to respond is how a lot of Chinese netizens were feeling. But then you have to realize that the CEO of Shibe, his name is Jia Guolong.
Jia Guolong.
Jia Guolong. Okay, we're going to call him Jia. And he has a personality that I would say is nearly identical to Lo. Like, they are two peas in a pod, two boobs in a bra. Like, they are the same person. I'm the same. That's it, okay? So they're both headstrong debaters. They don't know when to stop. They just grab a knife and they start stabbing, and then it's too late when they look down and they've stabbed their own leg 10 times. Like, you're like, why did you do all of that? This clash was going to become inevitable. The entire drama takes up the whole month of September 2025. Influencers are getting pissed off because they're like, did you not just see I broke up with my boyfriend? Hello? Hello? But no, everyone's like, let me see these two middle-aged men spar it out online over food. When opportunity strikes, you have to seize it. Amazon Prime's same-day delivery helps you say yes before the moment slips away and turn maybe next time into yes right now. Got asked out on a last-minute date but have nothing to wear? Don't take a rain check. Say yes. Prime can get you the perfect fit just in time to make that dinner reservation. Did your best friend suggest a spur-of-the-moment road trip? Make it happen. Clean underwear and a travel pillow delivered before you can even pack the car. Are the kids begging for an impromptu astronaut-themed slumber party tonight? Say yes and make it epic. Prime gets you everything from glow-in-the-dark stars to a projector to popcorn fast. And the memories made in that spaceship fort made out of blankets, absolutely priceless. Say yes to the moments that don't wait. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to find millions of items delivered fast. Same-day delivery, it's on Prime, available in select areas. Terms apply. So Shibe's boss responds. On that same day, Lo made the post. A media reporter had called one of Shibe's press outlets to inquire about the issue, and the worker notified them that at their location, all the beef is made in the morning that day. Their noodles are hand pulled. All their vegetables are delivered fresh to the store, made to order. And then Jia comes out and he tells the interviewers, after I saw Lo's Weibo post, I immediately booked a flight to Beijing. my family had all gone to sleep. I was so angry I couldn't fall asleep. It was like 3 a.m. I was downstairs by myself. I had grilled skewers. I ordered a bottle of alcohol. I was smoking a cigarette, and I was really thinking about it. And I'm like, we don't need all that. Like, this is, imagine the CEO of Cheesecake Factory giving us his life story like this. I would be like, whoa.
I pour myself a glass of whiskey.
I got super high, and that's why we have 50 cheesecake flavors. Like, what's happening right now? Then they go to the same Shibei location where Lo had eaten, and he starts making several statements to the press and even customers who are now recording. And he said, September 10th, I have this all written down. Lo, 4 friends walk in, order a total of 15 dishes.
So he's talking to the reporter right
Yeah.
now. It's not a press conference, right?
No, it's not a press conference.
He's just chatting with a reporter
Yeah.
with the iPhone recording, right?
Yeah, and he's giving me the energy of your father. You know what I mean? And I mean that with love. But like, your dad is not the most
Yeah.
press ready man.
Yeah.
He will look into a camera and say, what the fuck? And that's Gia, and I love that for him. Okay, so he's just looking into the cameras and he's like, listen, let me tell you what happened. Lo and 4 friends, 5 of them, they walk into the store, and this is around 2:30 p.m. He's setting the scene. They order 15 dishes. They finish their meal in about an hour. I mean, they're ravenous. They're eating the food. And then they left only 2 dishes unfinished. And then after paying, the staff even asked them, how was your meal? And they said, not bad, which is pretty good, right? So then the servers asked if they want to collect their reward points. And they're like, yeah, let me give you my reward account. They get the reward points. Then they leave. Now, about the 2 unfinished dishes, let me tell you what those 2 dishes were, right? So it was the scallion and ginger grilled fish and the tender grilled lamb chops. They didn't finish the scallion and ginger grilled fish and the tender grilled lamb chops. Why? Because those 2 dishes always take longer to serve. So they're usually the last ones at the table. So they were served last. And like I said, when our employees asked how was the meal, they said, not bad, not bad. They took their reward points, and after an hour, they left. And then they say everything from Shibei is pre-prepared. It's so disgusting. None of our food is pre-prepared. Every dish has its standard cooking process. How the ingredients come, some are from the central kitchen, some are sent to the store when they're frozen and defrosted and further prepared. Some go into the oven, some go into the seasonings, others go through the cooking process. Every dish has its own standards. So starting tomorrow, here's what I'm going to do. And this is when you should...
He got too excited.
Yeah, he saw all the cameras pointed at him and he said, baby, this is why I think you need to run by every single idea to at least 3 different people. I genuinely think that's the only marriages that I've seen work. Is you have one person is very impulsive and the other person is like, no, absolutely not. You're not doing that. That's it. When you have 2 impulsive people, it's not going to work. They're going to light the world on fire. You've got 2 people who are like, absolutely not. You're not doing that. They're kind of boring. And I don't think he's getting that from anyone because he's got a big head. So he says, starting tomorrow, we will open all 370 locations nationwide. And I am going to give you full transparency and access to our kitchens. Everyone. You on the internet who has never washed your hand, who wears shoes that have dog shit caked on the bottom, come into our kitchens. And see it for yourself. I don't know how that's sanitarily allowed. Like the health department rolling over in their graves. But he's like, every single person is welcome. That is how we will clear up the issue that we are not having pre-prepared dishes. What are you guys talking about? So look it up yourself. Come, everyone come. One come, all come. We're all coming together. It's heated rivalry, heated kitchenry, heated cook, heated... You know what's not heated? None of their food, okay? So then people they take that seriously because this blows up on the internet.
The next day, every TikTok is like...
Yes, every influencer, every TikToker, every live streamer, everyone who doesn't even have a TikTok account makes a TikTok account and they're running to Shibei. They're like, this is the best shit that we've ever seen. Now, none of these chefs that are working in any of these locations are responsible for their boss's actions. And none of them, I will tell you, not a single one of them was prepared. I don't even think there was a company-wide email that was sent out. I think a lot of these people got off their shift, laid in bed to brain rot, and then saw their boss saying that and said, what the f***? are we doing tomorrow? That's what I think happened. They're on Douyin scrolling. So then people start coming into the kitchens. Reporters are coming in. Camera crews are coming in. And there are just multiple videos that go viral within moments of Shibei opening their locations across the nation, because you've got a lot of confused chefs. And they mean well. Like, they're so likable, but they're fucking confused. They don't know why you're here. They think they're famous now. So they just start answering questions they don't know the answers to.
What?
Okay, let me explain. Okay, so one of the first viral moments that comes out is, I know you guys are crazy about your broths. The way that his mom brings over a chicken broth, and she's like, I've been stewing this for the past 48 business days. You drink every last drop. And I go, yes, ma'am. Like, you guys brew this broth for ages. She's like, this is broth from our ancestors. I'm like, yes, ma'am, I'm drinking it. And then the chicken, she's like, you don't even need to eat the chicken in the chicken broth. And I say, but why? It's chicken in the chicken broth. And she goes, the broth has all the nutrients. There are mushrooms I've never seen inside this chicken soup. It's so good. It's so delicious. So then one of the chefs is like, yes, come in, come in. He looks very confused. He also looks like he just got the job. So he's just, and everyone's pointing the iPhones at him and he looks starstruck. He doesn't know which camera to look at. So he's kind of doing the thing when you take family pictures and you're like alternating between cameras and talking. So he's looking at the camera and he's like, yeah, so I started the slow cooked chicken broth this morning, and they're like, oh, let me go look. Now, slow cooked chicken broth almost has this like white color because you've been stewing it for so long. It's like all that gelatin, all that collagen. It's like that. That's the amazing part of it. So then they're looking at it and someone's like, yeah, can you just like go through the soup and show us what's inside? Just fucking broth. So they're like, wait a minute, how do you just have broth? How did you make chicken broth without the chicken? Did you throw away the chicken? Where's the chicken? Right? He's like, no, I add the chicken later. So then they're like, wait, what do you mean you add the chicken later when it's a chicken broth? Because you had to cook the broth using the chicken. That's how you get the chicken broth. And he goes, no. Okay, so I get this plastic bag and it has chicken broth in there. I cut it with scissors and then I put it in there and then I slow cook it. How long does it take you to slow cook that? 6 minutes. So everyone goes, how can you say you slow cooked it when it's only been on the stove for 6 minutes? And then there are so many times where these poor chefs get asked questions by these TikTok influencers and they all just look blank. And they all look like, what the fuck? That's a good point. So then he's just like, they're like, so then where's the chicken? And he's like, oh yeah, let me go get that. So then he brings out another plastic bag. And it says frozen, fully cooked, pre-prepared food. On the bag.
Pre-prepared food.
On the bag. Expiration date in 9 months. So then he's like, this is the chicken.
I feel like this boss has never seen how his food is made. Someone liked him. Someone told him something and he took it to heart. Someone said, our food is fresh.
No, he just watched the ads for the company. He's like,
oh yeah. That lamb right there?
Yes.
Organic.
We brought the lamb alive to the kitchen, actually.
Oh.
So then he was like, the chef is like, no, it's not like prepackaged food. Because they're like, it literally says prepackaged food. And he goes, it's, we call it like a semi-finished product. Semi-finished. Which again, nothing's wrong with this. You just expect to pay cheaper prices. Like you're not expecting to pay $30 to get your broth out of a bag. Okay? That's crazy.
I think also their marketing. They
Yes.
keep saying it's like fresh.
Oh, and then he points at a pile of frozen desserts. And someone's like, are these fresh? And he goes, no, it came here frozen. But like they're cooked, and we serve them when they're fresh. And he's like showing all the kitchen stuff. And he's like, so this is the grilled fish, but it's frozen right now. The skewers, we get them pre-marinated. So are they frozen? Yeah. Okay. So he's just like doing a whole tour and it's progressively getting worse and worse and worse. And then they're like, well, how many dishes do you have on the menu? Oh, we serve around like 60 types. How many of them are frozen? Probably a lot of them. Most of them? Yeah, most of them. And then they go to the vegetables. They're like, show me your fresh produce. Because they're all talking about, oh, come bring your kid here. We got the fresh veggies. And then he was like, so this is our broccoli. And it's frozen. Why don't you use fresh vegetables? Oh, because these are organic broccoli. So it's frozen. Okay, so everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? On the package, the broccoli expires in 2 years. So people are saying, when you bring your kid to Shibe, they're eating broccoli that's older than them. Okay, the broccoli has been on this planet longer than your fucking child has been on this planet. And your child is consuming the broccoli. And again, nothing is wrong with frozen broccoli. Okay, there's actually debates that there might be more nutrition in frozen vegetables these days because they flash freeze them when they're prime. But it's just the fact that they market it and then they charge you $1 bajillion. You're just expecting, a normal human would go in there and expect it to be fresh broccoli, but it's not. And these poor employees, I mean, they're just getting hounded with questions. They're like, why is the shelf life on the broccoli 24 months? And he goes, I'm not the one that decides that. So then they're all just like, what is going on? At one point, they start going through the kitchen supplies and they realize that this kitchen, this huge kitchen that serves 60 various different dishes, they have 10 knives, and 9 scissors. Because all they do is cut open the plastic bags. That's all they be doing. There's another viral clip of one of the interviewers asking a chef if they have any overnight foods at Shibe. So overnight foods is like a big thing where, let's say you have a dish from Tuesday night, lamb chops. You got leftover lamb chops at the end of the night. They want, especially nice restaurants that charge a lot, the employees should take home the lamb chops. Because tomorrow, they should not see those fucking lamb chops. It should be fresh lamb chops for all the customers. And he's like, do you guys do overnight foods? And he's like, no, absolutely not. So then they go over the lamb chops, which has a shelf life of two years. So one bag, how many times do you use this? Oh, three meals. So we do 3 meals. Okay, so let's say you only get 1 order of lamb chops for dinner tonight. What do you do with the rest? Oh, so then we'll probably do it for lunch and dinner tomorrow. So then they're like, okay, so then it's overnight food, yes? The chef pauses, and you can see his brain moving, and you can see him contemplating whether or not Heidi Lau has an opening for a job, okay? So he's just standing there, and he's buffering, and then all of a sudden, he just starts aggressively nodding and says, overnight. We do overnight. Okay. All the comments, the netizens love the chefs, by the way. They're like, the Shibe chefs are the most honest people I've ever met in my life. They say that, to be honest, aside from their boss who is a liar, every single one of their employees is so honest. Like, they can't even lie if their life depended on it. So with that, with Lo doing nothing but really just tweeting once or twice about Shibe, the comments say, Lo landed a blow on Shibe, but it wasn't fatal. The subsequent 99 blows were self-inflicted, and every single one of them was fucking deadly. Another person says, at most, Lo gave him a light tap, but Shibe couldn't save face and ended up stabbing themselves to death. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? Nobody knows. And people were saying, you gotta take the Heidi Lau incident, for example. So recently in Heidi Lau, I think a few months before this, a Heidi Lau in Shanghai got caught in a huge scandal.
Is it the rat? Oh, no. Wait, what is it?
There was a rat?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God, there was a rat?
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What is it?
That felt slanderous.
Okay. I don't know. What is it?
Okay, so in Shanghai Heidi Lau, 2 17-year-old boys, motherfuckers, they should be charged as adults. They got up on the table after they finished their meal and pissed into the hot pot.
Oh my God, yes.
They peed in the hot pot. They urinate into the hot pot on top of the table. I mean, this is nasty. These get reused. They wash the hot pot and then they reuse it.
But that's not the restaurant's fault.
It's
right?
not the restaurant's fault, but it could have gone really bad. Heidi Lau, they act quickly. They act super quick. They address all the issues. They don't try to cover it up. They immediately gut the store. People said it was like they're building a brand new store. They got rid of like everything. Store? They got rid of everything to how serious they were about their hygienes. And then on top of that, if you dined at a Haidilao on that day, you're getting 10 times what you paid for food. So if you spent $100, you're getting $1,000 back.
Damn.
From Haidilao.
Damn.
And everyone, all the netizens, from what went from, oh my gosh, I never want to eat at a Haidilao ever again, to why the didn't I eat at Haidilao on piss day? I'm so pissed off at myself. Someone said, I'm poor. If someone peed in that pot and I used it right after but got 10 times the compensation, I wouldn't even mind eating it every single day. Someone said, if I had known this, I would have at least sold my house and gone to eat at Haidilao that day. Other people said, there are always such big opportunities in the big cities. Okay. Some other people are saying, I spend so much money every time I go to Haidilao. I feel like there's no meaning in working anymore when I could have just gotten 10 times back if I had just gone there that day. It's like the lottery system. So they turned this insanely negative thing into a damn, I wish I ate there on piss day. So people are like, Shibe should have done something like that. But instead they didn't. Okay, another similar incident with overnight food. Have you heard of Mixue? Mixue? Mixue. How do you pronounce that?
Mixue.
Mixue.
The boba tea?
Yeah, they have a location in New York now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they have a bubble tea chain. This was around like World Consumer Rights Day. They became one of the companies that were exposed in this investigative expose, slamming the door open, opening Pandora's box, because they have these 50-cent lemonades, and everyone knows what it is. It's water and lemons. And then they have orange. It's like hand punched orange, they say. So they like, you know how when you make a cocktail, you kind of, I don't know what it's called, muddle them, I don't know. But you kind of smush it around.
Yeah.
But instead of adding alcohol, they just add water. So it's 50 cents. You're getting hydrated. It's not too sugary. And it's like a nice cold refreshment. It's like spa water, cucumber water, 50 cents. I would pay for that, right? Especially if I'm out and about and a water bottle is more expensive. I'm getting the 50-cent cucumber water. Well, turns out, sometimes they would use the same lemons the next day. The lemons would be left overnight and then they would use it the next day. Okay, that's like the whole, that's the drama. And
serious.
It was serious, very serious. Everybody was going crazy over this. Mainstream media is reporting this as if, holy shit, this brand is going to go down. All the comments said, if my lemon water doesn't have lemons that sit out a little, that rest overnight, I don't fucking want it.
Why?
Because they say, how dare you try to take down our 50-cent fucking waters. And then all the comments said, Mishu, I already had low standards, but I'm lowering it again just for you. That's it.
Okay, because the product is so good and so affordable.
Yeah.
And they don't mind the lemon sits overnight. Okay.
Yeah. And then everyone's saying, mainstream media journalists, Mishu uses overnight fruit. Netizens, they use real fruit? Incredible. Let's go more often. People say, you know what? Here's the easiest solve.
That's true.
Open Mishu 24 hours. Then we won't have overnight fruit and I'll get my lemon water at 3 a.m. People are like, don't come from my Mishu. Okay, easy on my Mishu, which by the way, if you're in New York City, you can go to Mishu and I believe they're having similar prices. I don't think it's American prices. I think you can get like a soft serve ice cream cone for $1.
Oh,
and I heard
that's
it's
the
fucking
one.
banging. Yes. And then if you
yeah.
guys have seen this giant snowman character with a smiley face, it's like the really cute snowman on edited as the Statue of Liberty. That was Mishu.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're coming to New York. Oh yeah. I actually have not seen a Mishu fight in New York though, but people saw them on the, okay, so their mascot.
Mishu fight?
Yeah, okay, so their mascot is the Snow King. It's a giant snowman, cute, the most adorable fucking snowman you've ever seen, always smiling, and it's like a big inflatable. So they have mascots at their stores. A lot of people started spotting them in the dirty streets of New York City. One of them was spotted on the train, and so everyone's like, oh my God.
That's so smart.
Why is Mishu on the train?
They made their mascot just roam around the city?
Yes.
Whoa.
And it's actually really smart because in China, they have Mishu fights. So It's like a thing in China. I didn't know it's part of the culture. Okay, my culture is not your joke, but it's like it's a thing where every store, a lot of their brands have their own mascots. And these mascots, a lot of the times in touristy areas specifically or high traffic areas, they have a lot of stores. So you'll have like a Mishu, you'll have another boba tea shop, you'll have another fast food chain, right? Like one store away from each other. And they all get their inflatable mascots and they just start fucking fighting on the street. I've never seen anything like this before. And I went down this deep rabbit hole of watching copious amounts of videos. I think I almost became brain dead from these Mishu fights. So this Snow King will go out there and we'll just start going crazy. It'll start singing. It's they have a theme song. It's like, you love me, I love you, Mishu's sweet and lovely, and they'll sing it while they're fighting. One of Mishu's biggest competitors is called Cha Panda. And a panda is their mascot. I know, whoop-de-f***ing-do, we never would have guessed, right? And so on the street, sometimes you'll randomly just see a snowman and a blue panda fighting. And so here's what I was thinking. Okay, I'm like, this is a Saturday event. Because like, why would you do this on a Tuesday? It's a Saturday event when there's a lot of traffic, when there's a lot of people walking by, right? But in every single video, there's only like 3 people walking by. And I'm like, oh, they're doing this for fun. They're dedicated. These mascots.
They're paid fighters.
Yeah, they're MMA fighters in disguise. They're training for something.
How severe is the fight? How dedicated are they?
Okay, so when it's 2 inflatables, right? They do lots of bouncing and boom, boom, and then some of them will flip over. Now, it gets really intense to the point where a lot of them will deflate because the fight was so intense.
Yeah.
And they have backup ones. So
They
have
change?
backup ones that'll come in and do the rest of the fight.
What do you
And
mean?
then-
They have friends? Peers?
Yeah, they have multiple Mishu snow.
Oh.
Yeah, Mishu's got big budget.
No, it's like a gang fight.
Yes, and then
Okay.
one of them actually doesn't fight, and one of the snowmen just holds up a Mishu flag as like symbolizing we won.
Oh.
Yeah, and they just like wave it around. So there's like 3 snowmen. There's this one picture I can't get out of my head. It's like a Mishu snowman standing at the Mishu store, and then the Mishu next to him, another snowman, is just plopped on the ground. No one's helping. No one's even looking at the one on the ground. It's just like dead on the ground. And like people are acting like this is completely normal. This is just another day for fucking Snow King. Yeah, sometimes they also have their giant ice cream soft serve cone. They have like a plastic replica of it outside, like a giant prop. And sometimes when Mishu gets real riled up, they'll grab it and try to poke Chop Panda's inflatable to pop it. And it's just like I don't know what's happening. Like, you would genuinely think that this is for promotional purposes. No, they just be doing that. Like, they're stabbing each other with ice cream cones. They're getting deflated. It's a lot. It's a lot that's happening. These battles are they're not kids' play. And there's this huge burger chain in China called Wallace. It's just like I've never heard of a Chinese word called Wallace, okay? But they're like the competitor for KFC because KFC is actually quite pricey in China. So Wallace is the affordable version. And they are not Mishu's competition. They sell burgers. Mishu sells boba and drinks and ice cream. But it doesn't matter. During one of Wallace's grand openings, it was like a drive-by, okay? Snow King show up and just start beating up the burger mascot. Out of nowhere. They just roll
Drive-by?
up. Yeah. They roll up, get out the van, and they just start pummeling. Oh, and even the Mishu customers are really funny. So there was this one incident that went super viral last year where a customer ordered Cha Panda boba tea takeout. They realized they get it and they checked the label and they had specifically requested added sugar. But then they checked their delivery app and it says added sugar, but they checked their drink. There's no added sugar. It's bitter. So they're pissed. They reach out to Cha Panda, that exact location, and they say, hey, listen, I asked for added sugar and you didn't give me added sugar. So what are we going to do about this? And they're like, we're so sorry. We're going to get you a full refund. The customer texts them back because it's like a chat. And they say, no, get me the employee who made the mistake and have them sing the Mishu theme song for me. If they sing it, I'll write a good review. Cha Panda responds, okay, give her some time to get into the right headspace. I don't want the refund, so get ready. After a few seconds, Cha Panda replies with a 20-second voice message of them singing the competitor's theme song with full enthusiasm. They did the entire song, not the one-line motto, the entire song. Customer said, I forgive you. They respond, Thank you, dear.
Yo, this is too good.
What the fuck is happening right now?
Good.
Yeah, their soft serve is only $1.99 in New York, so you should go get it if you're in the city. But they're also just like roaming around. I want to see some mascots fights in the city. I need to see Snow King in action.
The only thing I can think of is Jollibee. That's the only thing I have.
And because it's been going so viral in New York, everyone's been talking about it. Everyone's like, fuck Starbucks, fuck all these expensive matcha brands, go to Mishu. And everyone is posting the Statue of Liberty with Snow King. And all the New Yorkers are saying, one day this place will be yours. Everyone's obsessed.
How did we get here?
Oh, yeah. That's how Shibei should have done it. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, just get that mascot and just like, bap, bap.
Exactly, but they don't. They open up their kitchens and now look at the share that you've caused. Look at this mess that you have caused. So this goes on back and forth for the entirety of September and into October. And at this point, Shibei is losing $600 million of revenue. Like, they're losing so much money. Their stores are becoming empty to the point where finally they apologize and they make a whole list of all the things that they're going to fix in the store. They're going to stop using GMO seed oils for all the adults' food since they don't use it for the kids' food. They're going to lower prices by like 20%. They start doing these crazy promotional coupons and they start doing the most cringe PR. So usually when things settle down, people were expecting Shibei would just try to bolster the image that they're using healthy foods again and like try to provide evidence, try to provide proof of it. They did do this thing where they installed security cameras in the kitchen and then that security feed is depicted to the customers that are sitting in the restaurant. So you can see what's going on in the kitchen and they're switching up the cooking processes. Whoa. Look, like they are doing a lot, but they're also doing a lot of cringe PR moves to try and save their reputation. So they post this entire story of a Shibei employee and she's sitting there and she's like, this is the story of 7-year-old Mao Mao. Mao Mao means hair, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's like saying that there was this mother who had seen all the recent news of Shibei and told her son that they're never going to eat at Shibei anymore. And this entire story is so dramatic. The waiter is like, the moment the 7-year-old Mao Mao walked into the shop, he rushed straight towards the manager, wrapped his arms around her legs and burst into tears. And Mao Mao's sudden actions left Fang Fang, the manager, just frozen in place. Like, what on earth is going on? Are you okay, child? And he's explaining, my mom recently saw discussions online and casually said to the family, maybe we shouldn't take the kids to Shibei this Sunday like we do every Sunday. It was just a little thing that his mom threw out, but Mao Mao overheard it. He started crying, throwing a tantrum, insisting on going to Shibei, even when his mom tried to distract him, like, I'll take you to grandma's instead, or I'll take you to buy a toy instead. Instead, he resisted all temptations and he was determined to have his Shibei kids meal. That was his promise with Shibei. So Mao Mao's mother realized that her child had been eating Shibei since he was 2 years old. And in the past 5 years, there had never been any food safety issues. She shouldn't let some online discussion undermine that trust. That 5-year journey from ages 2 to 7 was no longer just about eating. It had become a habit in her child's growth and a reflection of her parents' trust in Shibei. What warmed our manager, Fang Fang, is not just the love from customers, but also the love from Shibei itself.
Yikes.
The employee is filming this, they forced a poor employee to film this. And from a PR perspective, what the just shut up. That's crazy considering all of that's been going on. This is the last thing. And people said, everyone thought that Shibei had already taken off all their clothes and there was nothing left to see, but they bent over, spread their ass cheeks open and said, let me show you Mao Mao, which means let me show you my butt hair.
Oh, shit.
And people are saying this because no one thinks 7-year-old Mao Mao exists. So they're not like dogging on a kid. They didn't show a kid, it's just a story of a hypothetical kid that nobody thinks exists. Everyone's like, this story definitely didn't happen. And then people started doing these photoshopped images of a kid hugging a Shibei employee, and the caption is, it's okay, Mao Mao. I will freeze it for you and you can eat it when you get older. So right off the bat, this story already sounds fake, but then netizens start nitpicking it and they're all questioning like all the random details. So the employee is like, oh yeah, I've known Mao Mao and he's in kindergarten now. And all the comments are like, that kid is 7 and in kindergarten. I don't know how ages work, but all the Chinese netizens are like 7 and in kindergarten. The Shibei food got to him. He's not learning, okay? People are saying like, what is happening? That's why you can't feed them Shibei. Then the second story that they come out with, they start doing these like employee stories of how much the employees love, you know, Shibei and how their customers love it. So this one employee is like, you know, I was serving this elderly man, and he was an old man. He was from Inner Mongolia, and people love a very specific noodle there. And Shibei's version, he said, is very authentic. So he asked me if I could bring him lamb soup and another separate bowl of soup, but only charge him for one. So I said, sure. And I told him I would check with the manager, and that's how we first met. From then on, every time he came in, he would go to one of the private rooms. He would look for me. And everyone's like, this is starting to sound like a grooming type of situation, but okay. I served him from 2002 to 2004. And one day he called me and said that he's staying at a retirement home now. Whenever he came to get takeout, I would just pack him a week's worth of food and write down the menu from Monday through Sunday. And I don't know which part touched him, but I guess our sincerity at Shibei really mattered to him. And then he told me that he had this 1-bedroom property and wanted to gift it to me. I was only 17 at the time. I was so shocked. I didn't know what to
17 at the time?
Yeah. Yeah.
What in the world?
I didn't know what to say, and I politely refused. Later,
She started working when she was 15.
Everyone said, wait a fucking minute. Is Shibei admitting to child abuse?
Yeah.
Like child labor laws being broken?
What? Who wrote that?
Yeah, and she said, you know, later he moved to the retirement home and we stopped contacting each other. But I still think the sincerity we have at Shibei is really special. And everyone said, okay, well, first of all, this is clearly a made-up story. But second of all, even if it were a remotely true story, like you were getting groomed. You were getting groomed. And your bosses are telling you that this is a cute story. You were getting groomed. You were 17. And also they're like, wait, let me analyze this. This man walks in. He said, let me get 2 bowls of soup and I want you to charge me for one.
Yes.
And yet he wants to gift you his house? What? Other people are saying, you started working 2 years ago. You were 17 when he offered the house, so you were 15. So is Shibei saying that this is child labor? They're abusing the laws. Is that what's happening? And then other people are saying, you can tell grandpa that he can still eat Shibei at the retirement home. You can just prepare him 2 years worth of food. It'll be fine. And then someone else said, let me just finish the story for you. In the end, the two of them, the 17-year-old and the harabaji, the grandpa, get married and they have a kid named Mao Mao. Because they're saying all of this is fake. These are imaginary characters. Then the last story, they do another story. And this time it's like at a Shibei work conference where one of the employees goes up and is like, I need to tell you about one of the best stories I've had working at Shibei. And the founder of Shibei, Jia, is in the crowd and he's just tearing up. And the camera pans to him at the perfect time that he's tearing up. It's like a wedding vow more than anything. Okay, it's like, what's happening? So this is the story of the 1-year-old. She said this mother walks in and this mother was telling her like her 1-year-old would just never eat enough food. They went to the doctor. They did everything that they could. But when they started taking him to eat at Shibei, that's when he truly learned how to eat food. And that's how Shibei became a family. And now he's almost 3 years old now, has very strong feelings towards Shibei. And there was one time where the closest location to us had shut down. He saw the manager, ran up to the manager on the last day when everything's already closed and was just sobbing because this is how he eats. He lives and
The
breathes.
3-year-old?
Yeah, Shibei. And it's just, I mean, Shibei literally was the only reason my child ate food. And then Gia's just in the crowd wiping his tears. Okay, but then you know what's crazy? People are like, who the fuck is this employee sharing this story? Turns out, Gia's stepdaughter.
The fuck? Okay.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, this is not an employee who works at a store. This is literally, I mean, it's crazy. And then there were other episodes or like other viral things that were just taking off. There would be this one guy who's sitting there and he's like, I always take my kid to Shibei. Like people, whatever they're saying online is just flat out fake. I take my kid to Shibei every single day. And you know what? He's taller than the other kids in his class. He's blah, 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 blah. And then the netizens, they catch him at a Shibei location in a Shibei uniform. And they said, wait a minute. So Shibei is having employees pretend to be customers online, allegedly, and posting videos endorsing Shibei.
Embarrassing. They can't take an L.
They can't take the L. So then people are like, okay, let me just title this drama out for you. Episode 1, the Mao Mao who cried because they couldn't eat shibei. Episode 2, the uncle who wanted to gift a home after drinking soup in Beijing. Episode 3, the barely 1-year-old baby who couldn't have shibei. Waiting for episode 4 now. Yeah. And then people said, I come up with the next script. A terminally ill patient eats at shibei 3 days later. Wow, they're cured. Because that's how crazy it's been getting. But what's crazy is people are going on Redbook. And a lot of shibei locations are packed. They got lines out the door.
Why?
They're doing lots of promotions. They've lowered the prices across the board. And it seems like, I don't know if they're going to make a full comeback, but it seems like they're doing okay. What are your thoughts? This is like the weirdest Chinaverse story I've ever encountered in my life. I never knew it would get this crazy because we have lots of influencer restaurant dramas in the US where it's always like the influencer is like, I want free appetizers for a story. And then it's like, okay, that's crazy. But this is crazy.
This is, wow.
I thought it would be more on the lines of that. But this is a $600 million call out by an influencer and an even crazier food chain owner. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments and I'll see you in the next one.